Okay. Already. Hello. Happy Saturday. Today, we're gonna finish chapter 34. I'm not gonna lie to you. Last night, before I went to bed, a lot of thoughts in my head regarding Selena's affection story, and this chapter so far. Like, I kept on thinking about it and stuff. Thinking about all the things that were good, all the things that are not so great. But, I didn't exactly compile my thoughts onto, like, some sort of, like, piece of paper or, like, a notepad or anything like that. But, when I do finish the chapter today, I'll be sure to give my thoughts on it. I'm not too great at giving full-on details or a full in-depth review of these chapters. I'll just say whatever comes up to mind and how I feel after going through the story. So, alright. Without further ado, let's continue. 34-7, Understanding. Last time we left off was when Commandant went into the fog thing, showed up where Selena is currently at. But Commandant doesn't remember Selena, so Selena is heartbroken because of that. That's a quick little summary of what literally happened just before. But here we go. Fast city, line spacing 2, suburban villa. As the mist dissipates, you crouch beside the scattered metal fragments, checking them each several times before finally putting away your gun. Sorry, I had to reread that real quick. Sorry, bit of a stress response there. It's alright. Anyone thrown into this kind of situation would instinctively be on guard. Looks like we have a common enemy. What exactly is that thing? Luya. Enora Luya. That armor we just saw was her duplicate. Duplicate? So what does she rely on to operate? This device is its core. Okay. Iris explains gently, sifting through the scattered debris to pick up a prism-shaped device. You take it and notice the device's surface has lost its luster. You can't tell its function from its appearance. You take out your terminal while surveying the surroundings. Everything's functioning, except there's no signal. So it can block signals as well as teleport long distances. How much longer can this one last? It's already dead. Or rather, this device alone is not enough. Then why? Because you're no longer in your original location. I mean, what you've crossed isn't just spatial distance. As her words trail off, an aircraft flies overhead with a roaring sound, confirming her statement. What? The core device is key to powering the duplicates, and it is also the key to traveling through time. By pairing two devices together and anchoring the coordinates, it's possible to open a temporal passage. Iris pauses briefly, giving you a moment to digest this information. Temporal passage. Yes, the duplicates use this to travel to different points in time, to assassinate key figures or destroy important objects, changing history. In your time period, it must be something she's targeted as well. Your fingers trace over the strange device as what happened with Isla and the Science Council flashes through your mind. Everything fits what she just said. Time travel. It's an incredibly far-fetched concept. The truth would require verifying more details, but the info gathered so far is logically consistent. Is it? This unidentified construct is clearly a powerful fighter, yet is showing goodwill, so you decide to cooperate with her for now. Thank you for sharing this intelligence. I apologize again for my earlier recklessness. You remove your gloves and extend your right hand, rapidly piecing together information in your mind to make up a new identity. FOS, a mercenary from Eden Security Group. Pleased to meet you, Miss Iris. For some reason, a faint smile forms on Iris's lips. She noticeably hesitates before making contact, but ultimately shakes her hand. Hello, FOS. Is she trying to avoid physical contact? No, her grip is surprisingly strong. As you speak, you keep gathering info about the construct, building a profile. Just as you're about to release her hand, an intricate pattern on her shoulder catches your eye. The design is strangely familiar. You're lost in thought for a moment until you see Iris's gentle smile again. You realize you've been holding her hand for too long and quickly let go. Okay, yeah, you definitely need to have read the affection story beforehand. Otherwise, if you read this first before, then seeing the shoulder patterns be like, you would be definitely confused at that. Like, how's that familiar? Sorry, I was a bit distracted. Enora Luya must be stopped. Is there anything I can do to help? Relax, this war is almost over. I'm executing the final and most critical mission, escorting the target to the designated location. If all goes according to plan, Enora Luya will be waiting for me there. Once I defeat her, everything will be fine. As for returning, you don't need to worry about that. Iris hesitates, then quickly begins to explain, as if she's just made up her mind about something. Once I complete the final mission, I'll destroy her main body and get the new device. By then, I'll be able to send you back to where you came from by using duplicates to traverse through time. Critical mission. You quickly compile all the info and realize you don't even know the real identity of this Iris standing before you. Someone who knows so much about Luya probably isn't an ordinary soldier. Pardon me, but I haven't asked about your identity, Miss Iris. Iris falls silent for a moment, her gaze complicated. If it's classified information. No, I'm just thinking about how to explain it. I belong to the Union government of another time, Unit number 654, Operation Codename Iris. She stumbles through the first part but goes back to normal at the end, perhaps having weighed her options and decided it's worth revealing some information. We were the first to discover Enora Luya's existence, and we've been fighting for a long time to stop her from disrupting history. To be frank, if we had been a bit faster, this would likely have been resolved already, and you wouldn't have been dragged into it. A hint of apologies mixed in Iris's words. That's not your responsibility. Iris shakes her head and changes the topic. If you'd prefer, you can stay in Fast City and do whatever you want. I'll come back for you after I complete my mission. Accept or decline. I mean, knowing Commandant, we'd probably want to help, right? Well, like, maybe decline, I guess. I'm already involved, so I should do something. I may not match up to a construct, but I can still help. You meet Iris's slightly puzzled gaze and see her nod gently. Alright, so from now on, we're partners, FOS. I look forward to working with you. City Suburban Villa 18, line spacing 2. You sit in the living room of the damaged villa with Dandelion and Jonathan, introducing yourselves. Iris emerges from the kitchen, carrying a saucer and a teapot. We don't have much here, but here's something to drink. Dandelion accepts it with surprise. I had no idea you had these here. I was too busy looking for Luya, so I didn't have time to. Her gaze drifts casually toward the sofa, where you are quietly talking with Jonathan. Are they old acquaintances? Have they known each other for long? I suppose so, longer than they've known me at least. I just met them today. Your quiet conversation is interrupted as Iris turns toward you, offering a cup of tea. Thank you. Careful, it's hot. What are you two talking about? We're discussing what we should do next. Should I consider myself lucky? You were telling me there wouldn't be reinforcements right before the attack. Because I didn't expect FOS to show up. Jonathan turns to look at you and asks with confusion. Iris said you volunteered to help. May I ask why? It wouldn't have affected you. He furrows his brow, genuinely confused. The situation. You probably already know, so why take the risk? You have already figured out who Jonathan is through the simple chat just now. He's a lawyer who's about to participate in the signing of New Earth calendar. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just know it as New Earth Codex, so seeing the word calendar in there just took me by surprise a bit. Perhaps because he tried to avoid getting involved, he cannot see why someone would volunteer to join in. Because Luya is changing history, because I want to help. Yeah, I want to help. Luya is changing history, and no one knows if we can survive once that happens. Also, I was a soldier before becoming a mercenary. I'm familiar with combat, just as you're familiar with legal codes. Combat isn't something you should worry about. Iris and I will handle everything. Jonathan stays silent for a moment, then slowly raises his glass and downs it in one gulp. After getting acquainted with each other, given the intense situation, there's no time for idle chat. Let's go through our next steps. Iris? Iris nods and takes a letter from her pocket, putting it on the table. According to our original trajectory, Jonathan will fly to the capital of Bane in a week. Our main concern is his safety once he lands. But things have changed because now I know that Inora Luya has discovered our plans. That's why she launched the attack earlier. I thought that was just daily life for someone who's become her target. That's an exaggeration. According to our initial assessment, you should have been safe until you reached the capital of Bane. So now we need to figure out how to stay alive until next week. No, the question is how to reach Bane at all. Jonathan exchanges a glance with Iris to make sure they're on the same page. Iris takes out a map and marks the airports and flight paths between the capital of Bane and Fast. Flying is no longer viable. This is the first change in our plan. Planes are sitting ducks. Inora Luya can easily take down the entire aircraft with a suicide attack. But wouldn't changing his itinerary seem suspicious to the United Government? Wouldn't they think that Jonathan is trying to escape? Of course. My name was probably already on the watch list when I finished that call with the professor. But we can't use other transportation either. I can't just wait around for her to blow up this plane. So what's next? First, contact the United Government to request personal protection in light of the recent attacks. Or could regular bodyguards save me from attacks like that? We might end up sacrificing more lives. We just need to convince the United Government that you're ready to play their game. But that's not enough. We need a more decisive plan. Iris traces Bane's border on the map with her pen, thinks for a moment, then looks at Jonathan. You said that you own a law firm and have substantial financial assets. That's right, but purchase a large amount of Bane's company stacks and bonds with cash. As a negotiator, you should know which companies will benefit from the dividend period after the treaty signing, and what kind of assets will go up in value. Bind my assets to Bane's. Or Bands. That's definitely not what I expected. As long as it works. With profit as motivation, they'll believe that Jonathan has placed his bets on Bane signing the New Earth Codex. What about the personal protection you mentioned earlier? That part remains the same. Iris gives a firm answer. Jonathan meets her gaze and sees that she's following his line of thought. If the airport is also attacked, the United Government will believe these are planned assaults, considering what happened at the Dionysus Theater and the villa today. The airport will also be attacked. Are you two planning to lure Inora Luya to the airport? Dandelion interrupts Iris, her expression somewhat worried. That would involve innocent civilians. Don't worry, we won't do that. We can just use the simplest and most controllable method by conducting the attack on the airport ourselves. There will be no casualties or damage. We just need to show hostility and create a commotion. Like what Jonathan thought earlier, the United Government won't suspect us. For instance, the truth could be that I work for the United Government, helping revise the articles of the New Earth Codex. A group of dissatisfied civilians has targeted me, most of them victims of the peace operation. They oppose the United Government and don't want to see the New Earth Codex implemented, so they planned the attack. After that, you can question the United Government's abilities. With your financial investments, they'll only see it as an overly anxious civilian looking for peace of mind. If you ask for a change of route and bodyguards then, they will agree to it. Wait a second, I don't quite get it. Dandelion wears a confused expression, clearly struggling with some details she can't figure out. If our goal is to escort Jonathan, then why ask for bodyguards in the first place? After multiple assaults, if he doesn't have bodyguards, the United Government will definitely send troops to escort Jonathan. If you say in perfect unison with Iris again, Iris turns around and gives you a gentle smile. Oh, I see now. That sounds doable. You two are so in sync that I'm starting to wonder if you've met each other before. You and your protectors quickly become familiar. You should be happy about this. You pull out a disc-shaped listening device from your waist pouch as you stand up. You pat Jonathan's shoulder playfully and slip the device into the collar behind his neck. Alright, let's move. After discussing the operation, you split into pairs. Jonathan and Dandelion handle the finance, while Iris and you prepare the tools and scout the location. You sit next to Iris on the train heading downtown from the suburbs. Iris closes her eyes as soon as she sits down. Looks like she's not in the mood to chat. Taking the hint, you reach for a Golden Age newspaper on the train. Just as you pull it out, you hear Iris's voice. FOS. What's your take on this operation? You turn your head to see Iris's eyes still closed, her lips curved into a faint smile. She must be in a good mood. Anything is fine. I just want to chat. Like you said, if we get familiar with each other quickly, the operation will go a lot smoother. I'm surprised we're on the same wavelength. You mean choosing the airport as our target? That's the easiest and most effective approach. But that doesn't sound like an option you'd choose. Why? Iris opens her eyes, amused. She doesn't seem offended by your comment, so you start speaking your mind. I was concerned you'd pick a more complex approach, like use the intricate connections within the United Government. So you were surprised because I was very direct. You come across more as an artist than a warrior. Thank you for the compliment. I do enjoy writing scripts in my spare time. If my past self were writing this, I probably would have made the resolution process more complex, like you said. Until someone taught me a valuable lesson through their actions. Something enigmatic flashes in her eyes. Whoever Iris is referring to is clearly important to her. Before immersing in imagination and beauty, one should focus more on reality. Art transcends life, it is born from it. Yes, the reality is rarely as complex as we imagine. While art requires refinement, it's often too extreme. I've learned so much from these missions. The world I once knew only on paper has revealed its true face to me. I never realized how many details need to be considered, how many unexpected events occur, or that goals can be reached through complex or simple means, as long as you're willing to put enough chips on the table. When I understood all of this, I realized the flaws in my past creative work and came to truly appreciate conductors' struggles. Iris averts her gaze, lowering her eyelids. It's strange how candid Iris is being. She's sharing such personal thoughts with basically a stranger who happened to meet on a battlefield. This conductor must mean a lot to you. Conductor? Yes, someone very important to me. Her gaze lingers on you briefly before darting away. train arrival announcement interrupts your conversation. Iris stands for up first. Come to think of it, you've never been to Fast City before, have you? My time the surface was nothing but ruins. Since becoming a mercenary, battlefields have been my only tourist destination. Then why not take this opportunity to properly enjoy the scenery here? As we step off the train, Iris stands in the middle of the path and looks back. The slim figure blends into the light and shadow of the bustling city and the noises of peace that roar past the ears. It finally hits you just what kind of place you've arrived in. Time, place, this entirely new environment brings freshness you can't put into words. This is the past, a peaceful era, and this is it, the stage where you and I will write our story. I hope you'll enjoy working with me as much as I do, FOS. Welcome to Fast City. Dash 8, partner. A downplayed operation. Montali. Montali. In the parking lot, on a command vehicle that is disguised as a common large car, you are reviewing all the materials you have while you and Iris are doing each other's makeup. There's something awkward about making eye contact during makeup. To avoid that, you try to keep up a conversation. How does Jonathan's studio get their hands on a command vehicle like this? I wasn't the one who got this. It was Iris. Jonathan, who's been repeatedly checking his investment on a laptop, speaks without looking up. She got the decoder for the airport network too. Surprised, you look at Iris, who responds with a casual smile. Meanwhile, Dandelion has finished drawing. On the whiteboard, she has marked a dozen key spots on a structural diagram of the airport. Montali International Airport was built 15 years ago and it has undergone 6 major expansions. I'm sure you're all already familiar with its overall structural layout. I need to stress that the airport's network system is divided into 2 layers, internal and external. If you want to paralyze the airport by implanting a virus and causing chaos, we should target the internal network. Of course, ideally, our decoder would disable both systems through a single external interface. I thought you said you were just an ordinary civilian. I've written a novel using Montali Airport as the setting. Dandelion finishes with an elegant signature on the whiteboard, then turns to face Jonathan. Novelists are ordinary people, of course. Please continue. The operation is divided into several phases according to Iris and FOS's plan. First, Iris and FOS will need to use Employee Passage to access the secure areas beyond the checkpoints because they don't have identification documents. Right here is the Employee Passage that leads directly to the airport waiting area. This path is usually... She nods to Iris and connects a decryption device to the door lock in front. As the door unlocks, someone in the clear corridor turns around. There are no guards. Ignoring Dandelion's silence, you calmly pull out a pre-made employee badge, quickly flash it, point toward Iris, and greet the guard. VIP. The guard nods silently and steps aside to clear the way. You walk forward slowly with Iris until you go around a corner. You seem a bit nervous. Because we only had enough time to get one badge. There are too many types of uniforms for different sections. Trying to replicate them might get us exposed. I'm having trouble keeping up with you. It was such a bold idea. Can't believe it actually worked. Iris places a hand over her chest, her words filled with excitement due to the thrill. Yellow-red work vest, clipboard, and signboard. These can get you access to almost anywhere in the world. As you speak, you slide the clipboard into the signboard and fold them together, turning them into a briefcase. Then you flip your clothing inside out, revealing a suit. I thought infiltration was a required course for United Government employees. I did get infiltration training, but it was different. You glance at Iris's hands. Weapon comes into mind, and you realize she's joking. That explanation makes sense. Being invincible definitely counts as infiltration. Dandelion, where to now? The service desk when you turn left in 50 meters. 50 meters. That's the most accessible network port. Just connect it to the port on the desktop. Iris? Iris nods, then walks ahead toward the desk. Sorry to bother you. I was wondering. How may I help you? How may I help you? Excuse me, could you tell me where I need to go for this flight? Oh, of course. Let me just finish helping this lady first, then I'll assist you. The flight attendant panics as two people ask for help at the same time. Noticing her divided attention, you connect the decoder to the external port under the counter. 2 minutes later. I see. Thank you very much for your help. My pleasure. Please feel free if you have any more questions. And for you... Oh, I've already found the check-in counter for my flight. Thanks. You wave the Q&A pamphlet at the staff while quietly disconnecting the decoder. Huh? Oh, alright. Have a pleasant journey, and please feel free to ask if you need anything else. With a grateful smile, you turn and leave with Iris. You take out the hacking device and start working. Iris leans over. And how's that coming along? We need to plan our next move. See, I told you it wouldn't be that easy. We've successfully infiltrated the system, but there's no intranet access in the interface. We didn't fail, it's physical isolation. Looks like Montali Airport has been attacked before. Dandelion? If it's physically isolated, we'll need to get to the staff area to find an access point to the inner network. I should warn you, security in the staff area isn't very strict, but there are multiple checkpoints. I looked this up when writing my article. That means our plan to use the employee passage won't work anymore. It's not as simple as getting by one guard. The risk is too high. Iris nods, then gives you an expectant look. You don't seem worried at all. Because I believe in you. I'm sure FOS can solve this problem. Question mark? There's no time to dwell on what she means. You spot an employee approaching and gently tap your earpiece. Is the checked baggage storage area connected to the staff area? I mean the one after security screening. Let me see. Yes, they're connected. Are you... Excuse me, sorry to bother you. Without responding to Dandelion, you stop the employee passing by. My friend isn't feeling well, but her medication ran out. The rest is in our checked luggage. You take out a pill bottle from your briefcase and deliberately show it to the staff. We've already gone through security and she needs prescription medication. I'm sorry, but could you please help us? Iris chimes in at just the right moment. Oh, okay, please follow me. Iris feigns discomfort while I act agitated. Your expensive attire adds to the story. With the staff leading the way, you bypass several guards who would have otherwise stopped you. After going around several corners, you arrive at the entrance to a restricted area. Just ahead is the checked baggage storage area. I'm afraid all passengers must stop here. Could you show me your ticket? Could you please show me your ticket? I will go in and look for your... Extreme. Chloroformed. You release the ether-soaked cloth as Iris catches the unconscious employee and props him up to search for his badge. Name, Shiji. Job title? While you memorize the person's information, Iris quickly surveys the inside. Everyone inside is wearing work or guard uniforms. I don't think I can go on with you. I'll go alone. Can you take him? Can you take care of him? Of course, but FOS. You look up from the ID to find her holding tightly onto your hand. Stay safe. Okay, I'll be careful. Her serious expression seems odd. It isn't really a problem even if we're exposed before stirring up a commotion. You strip off the employee's jacket, put it on, then change your briefcase back into its true form, a clipboard and a sign, then walk straight in. The rest of the mission goes without a hitch. With the right uniform and confidence, accessing a terminal connected to the airport's internal network is easy. With so many devices requiring network connectivity, airport security really depends more on data firewalls rather than physical barriers. You connect the decryption device and successfully implant the virus. Now, paralyzing their entire system is just one button away. You leave the employee area after changing into a suit to blend in with the crowd. Just as you are about to exit, an announcement blares over the PA. Attention valued passengers, the airport is conducting an emergency security check. Please remain calm and stay where you are until further instructions. Attention valued passengers. Dandelion? The encrypted channel is jammed. You immediately remove your earpiece and chuck it into a garbage can. The airport's reaction speed is shocking, but you're not a professional hacker like Teddy. You recall seeing guards in areas that should have been empty. Perhaps it has to do with the theater attack, which would likely increase the security levels across all important parts of the city. Any delay could mean trouble. You tap the button on your decryption device and, in an instant, the humming of countless machines throughout the airport falls silent. Outside the massive airport windows, the exterior lights of several aircraft and their connecting jetways switch to red in the blink of an eye. The hull erupts into chaos. Human voices mix with blaring announcements as panic spreads like wildfire. Mission accomplished. Time to get out of here. You lower your head and follow the crowd toward the security checkpoint. If I can just get past here. You look up and lock eyes with a guard in the distance. Unfortunately, it's the person you met in the employee area. The guard's face scrunches in suspicion. Shock flashes across his eyes as he reaches for his radio. Well, here's trouble. A maintenance worker in a suit and an airport in chaos. Anyone would find that suspicious. Wait and observe. Force your way out. Oh, that's... Why am I having trouble choosing? Let's array out or wait and observe. I feel like either choice would still make me suspicious. I'll force my way out, I guess. Ooh, bang. As you make up your mind, a loud noise erupts behind you. Okay, I guess it didn't matter. A man whose face you can't see knocks over everything and runs further into the building, instantly drawing everyone's attention. Almost all security personnel start rushing after the man. The guard is distracted for a moment, and his hand moves away from the radio, but he turns around again to move toward you. Continue with your plan? Or try a different approach, I guess? Try a different approach. Unexpected events are happening faster than you can think. As your body remains tense, a familiar voice reaches you. Darling, I found you. Iris, now without her disguise, appears behind you out of nowhere. She is carrying a tall instrument case and speaks on a higher pitch than usual. My performance is about to begin. If we waste more time, I'll be late. I was hoping we could have dinner together. Oh, of course. Okay, honey. Oh, of course. You glance at the security guard from the corner of your eye. Seeing your interaction, he pauses before walking away. Thank you. Iris links her arm with yours with a smile, and you walk side by side through the security checkpoint. You can't go back to the vehicle where Dandelion is. They've already left. It would be easily spotted by airport's police. Iris and I get into another car belonging to Jonathan's studio and leave from the airport. You keep your hands on the steering wheel and glance at a smiling Iris. Are you in a good mood? Aren't you? We finished the mission. Who caused the commotion back there? A person Jonathan hired to create a scene. He didn't cause much damage, so the lawyers will get him out quickly. He was a huge help. Also, your performance earlier was also... Iris suddenly falls silent. She presses her lips together and turns her head away. She becomes unusually serious. I've never acted like that with anyone else. You're the first and will be the only one. Okay. Iris's sudden change in tone catches you off guard. If my past self were writing this, I probably would have made the resolution process more complex, like you said. Until someone taught me a valuable lesson through their actions. Something enigmatic flashes in her eyes. Whoever Iris is referring to is clearly important to her. Before immersing in imagination and beauty, one should focus more on reality. I almost forgot. There's someone extremely important in Iris's life. Your comments were a bit insensitive. I'm sorry. It's just... Words hover at the tip of your tongue, but you can't get them out. You don't know how to explain yourself. Iris, who has always been understanding since you first met, falls silent. Silence fills the car. Remain silent. Apologize again, I guess. Before you can collect your scattered thoughts, the car passes an intersection and Iris suddenly speaks. Go left. Going left. You turn the steering wheel, comparing her instruction with the route in your mind. Are we going back? We have something else to do. Iris speaks in her usual gentle tone. You feel relieved and turn to look at her at a red light, only to see she's been staring at you this whole time. What's wrong? I don't like it when you're staring at me. It's creepy. You promised me something at the airport, didn't you? Let's have dinner together. Oh, you were serious. Iris looks away, a flush of red creeping up her neck. One final word floats quietly on her lips, heard only by yourself. Darling. Okay. Reasoning. Babylonia Logistics Warehouse, spacing 0 to the normal time or original timeline. Commandant. Water spray from the fire sprinkler system, slowly dissipating the irritant gas. There are absolutely no relevant records in the conservation area or Babylonia, as if this guy appeared out of the blue. Over the comm, the sound of keystrokes slows down. Commandant? In the temporary channel they had established, the portrait representing the Grey Raven Commandant has turned gray at some point. The communication system is working. There's no interference. Why are they offline? Commandant. Isla? Teddy, check all surveillance footage inside and outside the warehouse. From the sound, Isla must be running in a hurry. What's going on? Fingers fly across the controls, and footage from 47 cameras shows up. As the smoke gradually clears on the screen, only Isla is still in the warehouse. Both the intruder and the Commandant have vanished. Commandant? The Grey Raven Commandant has vanished right under Babylonia's nose, along with the mysterious intruder. The military immediately forms a search group, but there's no sign of either of them anywhere around the warehouse. The engineering force checks all warehouse surveillance footage but only finds recordings from before the smoke spread. Footage that's identical to the ones stored in Isla's records. Explain. A ripple forms in the still coffee cup as Ishmael furrows her brow. Flipping through the report Teddy gave her. The frame Ishmael asked to destroy looks exactly like the construct in Isla's artwork. It triggered mental distress in Usabeni. That's me! Now Usabeni went missing with a mysterious invader in a warehouse in Conservation Area 221, that warehouse that holds this frame. I need a logical explanation. I have no recollection of this matter. I'm not trying to avoid responsibility. I'm simply stating a fact. You must have heard about the recent incidents involving Babylonia and the Commandant. If I were behind all this, do you think you could be here with all the resources of the control court at your disposal? Don't rush it. I'll look into it, but unraveling the full story takes time. Teddy furrows her brows after examining the control core construct before her and realizing she isn't lying. The good news is that Babylonia doesn't have a mole. The bad news is that Ishmael actually knows nothing about this. It's another dead end. A notification chime sounds. Isla is on the other end. The task forces inspected most areas in the warehouse and found no issues. We're heading to the last few gates. So, any updates on your end? Wind scrapes across the terminal, creating a harsh, grating sound. The lead's gone cold. I'll keep going through the rest of the surveillance footage at Engineering Force. Has the Science Council found the origin of that odd device in the warehouse? The one they just found. They're on it. Asimov has asked for experts from Science Council Sections 1 and 2 to disassemble the device. It's codenamed White Noise for now. White Noise? Asimov notices a strange noise in the surveillance footage right before the smoke dissipated. My combat records picked up the same frequency. This can't be a coincidence. Got it. I'll go get a sample of that white noise frequency from Asimov right now. Okay, we're at another entry point. I'll contact you immediately if we find anything. Isla quickly ends the call. The noise. Sound waves. Teddy compares the surveillance records before and after the invader appeared, uploads the clips to the terminal, and hurries to the Science Council. Ishmael sets down her cup and watches the ripples in her coffee distort by the sound of the closing door. Ring upon ring, like cages, the ripples trap the foam inside. Science Council. The lights in this building are never fully out. Researchers in white coats are always coming and going all day long. I copied that noise frequency you asked for to your terminal. Those old folks from Science Council Section 2 have been called in as well. You think this has to do with outer space? I'm not sure. I'll have to broaden the scope of the investigation. He stares at the middle of the table at the device codenamed White Noise that was urgently transported to Babylonia. Section 1 has already used every method imaginable to disassemble and decode this device. They used existing technological tools to take it apart and attempted to decrypt it with their punishing virus research. But it doesn't react to anything. Or rather, under specific conditions, it appears to activate but cannot be used. I suspect... Mr. Asimov! Rosa comes stumbling over, arms wrapped around a stack of yellowed documents taller than herself. These are the documents you asked for. Do you have a minute? The purple-haired girl puts the files on the table with a thud and timidly looks up with just her eyes visible as she glances at Teddy standing in the back. Okay. Asimov gestures for Rosa to start talking while he pulls up the data report from his terminal, checking the structural breakdown of the white noise. As per Mr. Asimov's instructions, I retrieved some of the research directions stored by the Science Council from the Golden Age. Many of them are just papers, theories that exist only on paper without any actual research results. From there, I filtered out 8,791 research papers related to sound waves. Based on the application of the white noise, I then narrowed it down. They're all published by the same institution. ABES. Experimental Principles of Sound Field Localization Using Focused Sound Signals. Hypothetical Effects of Giant Cavitation Bubble Instantaneous Pressure on Sound Fields. And this one. Research on localization principles of special echo signals based on spatial signal frequencies. Oh, jeez. But everything is just theory, and the current Science Council hasn't restarted any of these projects. Asimov's expression gradually darkens as he compares the main diagrams in the papers. Go get the ABES project team's files. Tenebrion. Rosa, having made the connection, lets out a hushed gasp and rushes to another lab. Tenebrion. Conway's special frame? It's research on Tenebrion as a special energy source. The latest technology is already being applied, but during a recent project report, we discovered their application progress far exceeded what was presented. If it happened once, we could explain it as an accident. But when it happens a second time, something is up. Can the engineering force access surveillance footage around the Science Council? I need all recordings before the day of the report, with a special focus on all ambient sounds. Yes, I'll request access right away. How far back do you need? At least 3 years. Question mark? Before she can express her confusion, there's a knock at the door. Forget it. Oh. She stretches slowly, walks by Ishmael who's entering the room, finds a corner to sit, and starts working. The Science Council doesn't have time to comply with inspections from the prosecutor's office at the moment. Asimov remains focused on the stack of documents, refusing to even acknowledge Ishmael's presence. I'm not here to represent the prosecutor's office. Her gaze shifts to the white noise placed in the middle of the table, waiting to be examined. That device is classified as a special item. The report has reached the president, so it doesn't require any approval. I apologize. You may not like me because of my identity, but I really am not here on behalf of the prosecutor's office. My frame can collect and reconstruct advanced data, so the military has asked me to help restore this device. Ishmael pulls out the statement signed by Nicola. Please. After receiving permission, Ishmael stands by the table, carefully examining the device named White Noise. It looks like a large data reader, with several scratches from battles. It has markings that don't belong to the current era. She reaches out, gently touching the base of the device with her fingertips. Dots of light shimmer as data slowly flows out as pale blue rays, showing the internal structure of the device. So please, help me. What do you want to do? I will. The girl looks up, her face tinged with both sorrow and determination. You have no right to interfere with what must be premiered. I won't. Cause and effect. Pale blue light flickers, tracing the device's exterior and internal structure. A researcher on the side quickly takes photos, trying to figure out how it should be operated. That's quite impressive for a data collection and reconstruction device. Asimov looks at Ishmael, who responds with a smile. I'm done with the military's request. Is there anything else you need me for? Not at the moment. I'll send a formal request if necessary. Excuse me. Then I'll take my leave. After the researchers finish documenting, Ishmael gestures politely before leaving the lab. A positioning device. Asimov's mind races as he studies the terminal's projection of the device's core components that Ishmael disassembled. If Ishmael's analysis is right, and White Noise is indeed a positioning device, then what he didn't say was the only condition to activate this device is to play that specific noise on the surveillance footage at a precise frequency while the device is powered. But if everything is normal, then why can't White Noise activate again? Did this device actually teleport the Grey Raven Commandant to another location? The task force has searched every inch of the conservation area, but where is the Commandant? Teleportation was never achieved even during the Golden Age, so where did this device come from? In other words, does this device locate only a geographical position? Leaving for the New World. City Center Department Store, Fast City, 930, line spacing 2. A screen on a window of a department store by the street rolls through recent news. National News Agency. According to the Fast International News report on the 12th, Fast City police stopped an earlier attack at the Montali International Airport. The criminals were caught after the first wave of attacks on the airport's network system. They were apprehended at the scene, and airport operations were back to normal in just 2 hours. For more details, we turn to our special guest today, Mr. Antu, Commissioner from the United Government. This was an act of opposition against the New Earth Codex, without a doubt, but it crossed the line, just like the earlier attack at the Dionysus Theater. Dandelion leaves the store carrying boxes of supplies. She rolls her eyes when she hears the news and almost stumbles when Jonathan bumps into her from behind. Hey, be careful. You're too close. Dandelion puts down the boxes and crosses her arms in frustration as the news continues to loop in the background. Apprehended at the scene, he didn't follow up at all. FOS said the virus only ran for 10 minutes before self-destructing. Keep your voice down. We're in public. The news can give all the details to the public anyway. We don't even know what happened, but whatever it was, it's over. Jonathan looks around cautiously, making sure no one is paying attention to them before whispering. Whatever. It's fine as long as FOS's plan worked. This morning, the United Government already started assessing security requirements for employees like us. After I sent in all your names, they gave us permission to change routes and request escort personnel. Huh. Oh, right. What happened to that guy who helped FOS by creating a distraction at the airport? He has proof for an acute stress disorder episode. The airport even had to compensate him. It won't affect his life. I can't believe it actually worked. I'm impressed. It's nothing. The one who really made it work is someone else. Jonathan stares straight ahead. Across the street, FOS and Iris lean against an SUV, taking inventory of their supplies. FOS is indeed incredible. Are you feeling jealous? Who doesn't want to be a hero? That's true. FOS was absolutely phenomenal during the airport operation. I didn't see it in person, but I bet it was just like something from a spy movie. That wasn't the only time. He instinctively touches the collar at the back of his neck. He will never forget the moment when FOS removed the listening device from there. Before the airport operation. Suburb Fast City 5 p.m. Line spacing 2 or a.m. With the operation approaching, Jonathan finds himself wide awake at night. a.m. Thoughts racing rapidly in his mind. He keeps going through all the events, wondering if he really must get involved. From the eyes of someone involved, how can he protect his own interests? According to law, never mind, no legal code was written for this situation. Knowing that he won't get any more sleep from before dawn, he gets up to use the cold morning air to calm himself. He sorts through his jumbled thoughts as he walks against the morning breeze and accidentally wanders beyond the safety perimeter set by Iris. When a group of monsters just like the ones in the theater appears, Jonathan realizes that Luya will never let him off so easily. Help! Somebody help me! He's strayed too far from the villa. At this distance, no one can hear his cries for help. Am I going to die here? As the monsters close in on him slowly, Jonathan's face shows nothing but despair. Move! Be careful! Sharp gunshots ring out from the far end, drawing the monsters' attention. FOS! Continuous gunshots. Pew pew pew. Weapons provided by Iris are more useful than expected. Although you can't kill the monsters, the shots are enough to keep them at bay. Let's go, this way. You grab Jonathan by the shoulders and spring frantically in the opposite direction. What are you doing here? Later. The guns can only scare the monsters, not kill them. You must stay alive until Iris notices that you and Jonathan are missing. You go around the outskirts and into the forest, finally shaking off the monsters and making it back into the safety of the villa's shielded magnetic field just before Jonathan collapses. Jonathan's heart is pounding so violently that he feels it's going to burst from his chest. Why were you there so early? Was everything FOS said during the meeting just empty promises? Was FOS after knowing the full picture also planning to escape? Strange emotions brew in him as he guesses the intentions of this self-proclaimed mercenary with malice. Remove a listening device from his collar. When did you put that there? Yesterday. Impossible. We only met once yesterday. Shrug. You're right. Why would you do that? Because I don't actually trust any of you. In an unfamiliar situation, it's best to do whatever it takes to maintain control. This is one of FOS's core teachings. Then why did you? One afternoon was enough for me to learn everything I needed. I have my own judgment. I'll say that. The only information you needed was whether your partners had ill intentions. You casually crush the listening device and tuck it into your pouch. You're not a mercenary. It won't make any difference to this operation. Then why? Why get involved in this at all? Why risk your life to save me? There's nothing in it for you. I already gave you my reasons yesterday. That wasn't just empty talk. Why would anyone get themselves into such a terrible mess over such vague, abstract reasons? They're not that abstract, and I do have some connection to this incident. To save the world, of course. We're here to save the world. And they're not that abstract. You can hide from trouble for a while, but not forever. Once you know about something, and you happen to have the power to help, you ought to do something. The currents of history rush everything along. If we let Luya do as she pleases, today it's Bane, tomorrow it'll be another city. Eventually, it'll affect us all. Enough talking. Rest some more. The sun's about to come up. As Jonathan watches FOS walk away, he touches the phone in his pocket. The screen was left on a chat window. Joe, I heard about what happened at Montali Airport. They're getting more reckless. It's unfair for you to stay on this mission. I'm working on it. Stay in Fast City for a few more days. I'm doing my best to get you out of this assignment. Professor. Thank you for that, but I want to go to Bane. Jonathan. The people of Bane need help. What? Nothing. It's green. Let's go. Hey, stop pushing. I'm carrying a ton of stuff here. I'm going. After Jonathan and Dandelion cross the street and finish loading supplies into the off-road vehicle, they overhear the other two discussing the operation. It's a 4-day journey from Fast to Jotun, the border city of Bane, and a 4.5-day journey to the capital if you take this route. What's our shift? Can Jonathan and Dandelion drive? I can handle it. You're going to drive for 4.5 days by yourself? After she doesn't seem like someone who'd choose the fastest and most effective way, we have now added, she probably doesn't know how to drive. Iris winks playfully. Ever since you had a meal together, she's been increasingly casual with you. Well, it's kind of true. I'm a construct. Operating continuously for days isn't a problem when it's just driving. Plus, we'll be taking breaks. If we're just driving, why don't you stay on guard instead? Sure. Let me check if we've got all our personal items. If not, you slide into the passenger seat, cast one glance at the city, and buckle your seat belt. Let's go. The main stretch of the route to Bane cuts through highlands with lush vegetation. It's the rainy season, and a gentle drizzle persists. On the way, you meet a traveler going in the opposite direction, stranded with a flat tire. You offer to help, and the traveler tells you about the road ahead. He even marks a few notable points on your map and gives you a pack of energy candies. Ooh. Listening in the background, so I'll be present as ears only for a bit. No problem. Hello, Leojun. Back in the car, you glance at the two sleeping in the back before turning to Iris and whispering. Same here. Alright. No problem. Hello, IA. Yeah, if you're just here just to listen and vibe without doing much talking, that's fine with me. As long as you're enjoying the reading. Route 2 has mudslides and landslides. We'll have to take the other route. Okay. Route 4 doesn't have any supply points, but there is an abandoned service area. The guy earlier marked it on our map. Okay. Want some candy? Alright. But I need to keep my hands on the wheel. Iris keeps her eyes fixed on the road ahead without moving, as if nothing had happened. Pretend not to understand. Unwrap a candy. Want a piece of candy, Short Halt? You hold the candy to Iris's lips. Thank you. No. Her lowered voice, muffled by the candy, sounds lazy like the rain outside. Dandelion mumbles something from the back seat and shifts her body. Both you and Iris reach for the speaker volume control at the same time. Your fingertips touch, eyes meet, and you laugh. The upbeat music stops, leaving only the sound of heavy rain. I thought your hands were full. They were full earlier. Her serious tone carries hints of a chuckle she can't quite hide. Do you want to take a nap? I promise to help keep watch. I can't sleep. Then let's chat for a while. Sure, like what? Like your interests, the kind of music you like, and what you enjoy doing. I'd like to ask you those questions too. You don't have the answers? Do you not know yourself well? No, I want you to answer these questions. Sure, I'll tell you. However many times you want. What did you say? Nothing. I got candy stuck in my teeth. Your casual conversation flows into the curtain of rain, falling among the highland trees as the vehicle rolls forward. As night falls, the four of you arrive safely at the abandoned service area on Highland Route 4. It was originally just a supply point, but after this route was built, it was expanded into a service area. The service area had the potential to develop into a small settlement, but the United Government's peace operation changed everything. When the Highland Route fell into disuse, many points along the way declined as well. Iris parks the vehicle in a spot with clear visibility, where you can act quickly if anything happens. You help the others set up their tents. I had no idea there's so much to pitching a tent. I thought you could just hammer in a couple of stakes anywhere and call it a day. That would have given you all sorts of troubles at night. Thanks for all the hard work. Jonathan and I will take care of dinner. We can't let you do everything. By the way, where's Iris? She's probably just walking around. You sound a bit strange. Jonathan, time to make dinner. I should have brought 2 boxes of instant meals. We're not in a rush now. Why don't we reward ourselves with some good food? I would have been fine with some like instant ramen. I mean, like buldak. That shit's good. Habanero buldak. Ooh, spicy as hell, but it's delicious. We'll treat this as a vacation. Jonathan sighs, setting aside the contract he was drafting. He shrugs to himself before reluctantly trudging over to start the fire. If this were a real vacation, I'd have brought a guide who doubles as a translator and a driver who can cook. Then you must have learned quite a few skills, right? Do you think that was the point? Their casual conversation fades as you walk to the edge of the camp, setting up makeshift security devices assembled from components you bought earlier. After you're done, you take out a map and head toward the spot you pointed out to Iris earlier when you were parking. You go around some abandoned buildings and past a few rows of trees before your view suddenly opens. Before you is a massive, rusty platform surrounded by moss-covered items. An old weathered piano stands silently to one side. Iris stands by the piano, her fingertips gently tracing the keys. She gazes at the tilted steel frames behind the platform that were probably supports for stage backdrops. You pause in front of the platform and speak from a distance. Person on the road today said, when Route 4 was first established years ago, they held celebrations in the service area. That's why you chose this route. The main reason was the landslide on Route 2. Iris turns around and looks at you with pressed lips. Can you give me a different reason? Because you probably haven't taken a break for a long time. If you'd rather not, we can also FOS. Iris interrupts you. Yeah? Would you be my audience? Sure. You find an abandoned chair among the objects nearby. She carefully wipes it and sits down with proper posture. Or you carefully wipe it. I don't know why it says she. The first performer is light itself. It appears from behind Iris and shines on the lush foliage, making it look like night has only just descended. Next to take the stage is music. It rises from the aged yet powerful keys and the crisp notes echoing from the corners of the stage, elegant and graceful. Then, with flowing garments and dancing fingers, she moves like an iris flower swaying in the evening breeze, exquisite and soft. As her dress rises and falls, the tenderness you have yearned for fills your heart, and the thin barrier between you disappears. Your troubled thoughts vanish, and Iris's silhouette seems to be moving in slow motion. This might be more than just a mission. It may be a pleasant journey to be savored. All the beautiful things have just come into blossom. All the romantic stories still have time to unfold gradually. Afterglow. -11. People cherish beautiful moments because they are fleeting, unlike the trivial events of daily life. Ooh. I like that. This game has no shortage of, banger lines. As the sun rises on the horizon, this journey approaches its end. Jotun City, city outskirts 1730, line spacing 2. Standing on the hillside with binoculars, you see a city that looks more like a town on the edge of Bane in the distance. Let me note down the supply list first. Try to get everything within 1 to 2 hours after entering the city. Shouldn't we rest for the night? I think FOS is worried about Honora Luya making a move first. Jotun City is almost a day's drive from the capital. Why would she set up an ambush there? She may not set up an ambush, but she'll definitely have scouts in the area. Yeah, the notes are quite short is what I've noticed too. Honestly, we're only we're 60% of the way through this chapter, but this doesn't feel like a main chapter to me. It feels more like a floating record, you know? I feel like when it comes to main chapters, it's always going to be obviously Commandant involved, as well as Grey Raven to an extent. This one, no Grey Raven whatsoever. It's just Commandant. So this feels more like a floating record, if anything. Not a main chapter. So I'll reserve the rest of my thoughts until I finish the chapter here, because there's a few things on my mind. Maybe because Ishmael's involved. That might be another reason why. Ishmael does have a crazy major role in the story, but But yeah, again, I'll reserve my overall thoughts for the end. For both. I mean, I spoke about Affection Story yesterday, but I'll also talk about Affection Story again after. The possibility stands. Honora Luya doesn't know which route we'll take to Bane, so she might send scouts to all the border cities. That's a lot of effort. I've really reached the top of her hit list. Anyway, we should keep our visit short. Let's hit the road as soon as we get our supplies. I'm afraid we'll all have to stay another night in the wilderness. It's okay, I'm already used to it. Now grab your lists and let's move out. Jotun City, city streets, 1845. Having finished gathering those supplies and picking up some extra desserts, you leave the market and head back to the car. Just when you're about to call Iris over to try some treats, you freeze with your hand in the air as you approach the window, the words stuck in your throat. In the amber glow of dusk and tree shadows dancing, she lies asleep in the driver's seat. Her left hand is in an unnatural position, and her slightly furrowed brows give a hint of distress. You can't hear her breathing through the window, but the irregular rise and fall of her chest shows her distress. After she doesn't seem like someone who'd choose the fastest and most effective way, we have now added she probably doesn't know how to drive. I'm a construct. Operating continuously for days isn't a problem when it's just driving. Plus, we'll be taking breaks. If we're just driving, why don't you stay on guard instead? Is she tired from driving for 4 days straight? The absurd thought surfaces in your mind, only to be quickly dismissed. She's a construct. With regular tests, she could drive continuously for 40 days without showing any signs of fatigue. No, I'm just thinking about how to explain it. I belong to the Union Government of Another Time, Unit Number 654, Operation Codename Iris. We were the first to discover Enora Louis' existence, and we've been fighting for a long time to stop her from disrupting history. What is making Iris doze off is probably the countless 4-day stretches she's endured day and night, beyond your knowledge. With a sigh, you set down the supplies and use the phone you got in fast to send Jonathan a message. You press your hand against the car window and, after hesitating, take out the keys. You open the door with the least possible movement, unfasten the seatbelt, and lift Iris from the driver's seat. Iris's reaction makes you think she woke up, because the construct's senses are far beyond that of humans. You can't tell whether Iris is truly exhausted or if it's something else, but to your surprise, she stays unusually calm in your arms, even her furrowed brow noticeably relaxing. You carefully place her in the back seat, then lean against the closed door, gazing at the evening glow on the horizon. Iris, how long have you been fighting? Who exactly are you? Time flows amidst whispers and sighs. Soon, Jonathan and Dandelion come out from the supermarket and approach the car. Put your finger to your lips. Shh. You signal for the two to be quiet. Jonathan and Dandelion are confused, but they lighten their footsteps. Jonathan opens the bag in his hand and lowers his voice. I got the earmuffs you wanted. Here. Thank you. You take out the earmuffs, carefully open the car door, and put them on Iris. Jonathan and Dandelion see the sleeping Iris and move more quietly. Dandelion sneaks into the back seat while Jonathan gently opens the passenger door. You take the driver's seat and, after a short pause, pour a cup of warm water and pass it to Dandelion. Speaking of water, let me take a sip right now. Please put it next to her. Okay. You adjust the sun visor and rearrange the shopping bags in the car to shield the sleeping Iris from the last traces of sunset, then start the engine. The car drives into the sunset. Soon both Jonathan and Dandelion fall asleep, leaving only the gentle vibration of the vehicle in your senses. You drive for a while until the candy in your mouth dissolves. Just as you're about to get another, an unwrapped candy appears on your lips. A pair of arms wrapped around your neck from behind as Iris's voice appears at your side. You can sleep some more. Who carried me to the back seat? Her voice still sounds drowsy. Iris leans forward, resting her head on your shoulder, her eyelids half drawn. Dandelion. I should have woken up ages ago. Dandelion might look gentle, but she has always been rather rough. She blows softly against your earlobe playfully, her breath gentle and warm. Iris keeps leaning against you, swaying her head while humming an unfamiliar tone. Drowsiness creeps up with her melody, and she lets out a yawn. Pull over. That's fine, I can still... Pull over. I want to get out and stretch my legs. Iris buries her head back between her arms, making her voice sound muffled. It's getting dark. Sure. After parking the car by the road, you get out. Iris stretches, notices you watching her, and plays and smiles with a playful wink. After setting up the security devices, you walk with Iris toward a nearby hill blooming with flowers. Nights are short during summer. Let's meet before night if we can't make it at dawn. Iris gathers some iris flowers, gently breathing in their scent. Do you like the sunset? Yes. Not really. Yeah, sure, I like it, yeah. I like it too. Sunset always gives rise to a tapestry of emotions. Many of my inspirations and reminiscences reminiscences happen at this time. Iris tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. It's like slowly approaching a destined end, one we can only welcome and never escape. FOS, do you miss home? Yeah, of course. Not too much. Of course. I think anyone would miss home. Don't worry, I'll help you defeat Honora Luya. Then you'll finally be free from this long mission. I know you will. Iris breaks into a gentle smile. She straightens up slightly and intertwines her fingers. You immediately understand and sit beside her on the grass. Together you watch as the sunset fades in the distance. Suddenly you feel a weight on your shoulder. Iris is leaning against you, her breathing soft and steady. She has fallen asleep in the end. Make a subtle movement. Remain peacefully still. Yeah, I'll let her sleep. You watch as the sunlight slowly recedes from her face. Good night, Iris. I'm really trying my best to not see this as a romantic thing. I'm trying my best. Because we have Lucia, man. So it's kind of weird. It does feel like sweet romance. It's like really strong with the Commandant Selena relationship thing. Like, I get it. Selena feels very and deeply grateful towards Commandant because Commandant's letters that they've been sending to each other and stuff. The letters they've been sending to each other, like she said it herself, it's what's anchoring her in the world. It's her anchor. So it's like keeping her like, it's like keeping her like strong, I guess. So I get that she feels strongly towards Commandant like that. Kind of this chapter is sweet romance for now. And also, yeah, Lucia is my favorite too. Yeah, when it comes to this game's romance and stuff, definitely Lucia is like, I mean, like once you read through Shaper's Ripples, man, it's like, it's pretty freaking obvious that Lucia is the one for Commandant, right? So it feels weird having to go through these romantic scenes with Selena when we know like Lucia is the one true, you know, girl, right? It feels weird. That's why, personally for me, I'm trying my best to not see this in a romantic aspect at all. I'm just seeing this as like, Commandant being just nice, just being super kind. That's all. Even before Shaper's Ripples, Lucia brought me through all PGR. So like her first frame. Yeah, Lucia's been there since the beginning. And we've seen her character development since too. So it's like, then all of a sudden Selena walks into the picture and it feels weird, you know? Feels really weird. Again, I get it with Selena feeling this way towards Commandant. Like she owes him. It feels like she owes him quite a lot. And she's deeply, or with them, she owes them like a lot and feels deeply grateful. But man, it's a bit hard to get through. I don't mind such cute interactions, but these romantic alone is weird for now. Yeah, it's a bit much. Like, I don't mind the cute interactions, but it feels a little bit much. It's like they're kind of like really displaying it to your face, like head on, right? It's a little too on the nose for me. Again, I'm trying to see this relationship as a like kind of just a good close friendship rather than anything romantic. I'm trying my best for that. That's why my responses personally, when it comes to like the responses I've been picking for Commandant, I've been trying to pick the ones that aren't as romantic and stuff, I guess. Commandant is just super kind to a fault, so I'm kind of just going off on that. Cute experiment of Kuro, the romantic stuff is truly sweet. Yeah, they do a good job with the romantic stuff. It really does get you into the romantics. But it just feels weird when you have Lucia. Midpoint. Bane's capital, Eugene? Sorry, I don't know. That's not. Sorry, I see that kind of spelling. I think it's like pronounced in Chinese. Inside the vintage room with its elegant furnishings, soft night lights glow, watching over the person sleeping on the bed. I will say though, those little interactions though, those cute moments, romantic moments, they are cute. They are precious. Selena is precious. Iris rubs her forehead and sits up from under the covers. Outside the window, the sky is pitch black with no hint of dawn. It's the first time she's had a deep sleep in a long time. She sits cross-legged on the bed, hugging her blanket, staring out the window as she slowly untangles her thoughts. The four of them arrived safely in Bane's capital last night. Thanks to the conductor's various identities, not only Luya, but even the United Government cannot trace them. For now, the United Government only knows from the schedule that Jonathan must have entered the country, but no one knows his exact location. At this thought, Iris smiles and slowly lies back down. It's so nice. She touches her shoulder, gently tracing the patterns painted there with her fingertips. To have you by my side. A detailed action plan that leaves no room for error, always setting up everything one step ahead, just like when we fought side by side in the past. Lost in her thoughts, Iris begins to envision scenes of their future together. After that, a word that promises something beautiful is followed by a reality that chills one to the bone. After this comes the final step. They can hide all they want, but Jonathan must eventually contact the local government. And the moment he appears in public, Enora Luya's replica will come for him. Defeat Enora Luya's replica and send the conductor away before Enora Luya arrives. That's the destined future for the two of them. For her and the conductor, there is no after. There never was. The smile on Iris's lips fades as her gaze sharpens, clearing away the dreamy haze. Don't lose yourself in dreams. Iris, fate has shown you mercy with its last tenderness. This is already a blessing you never dared wish for. Iris whispers as she rises to her feet, determined. Fatigue vanishes from her expression as she begins to dress and get ready. With her back to the window, Iris ties her hair as the first light appears, softly illuminating the room. Her gaze falls on the letter by the bed. Her movements are slow. A thought flashes through her mind. Should I write a letter to conductor before saying goodbye? Her fingertips brush against the letter as reason and emotion clash within her. A letter to reveal my true identity, or keep it a secret and just say goodbye. Reason stands at her left with a stern warning. You've sacrificed so much. Wasn't it all for the conductor's safety? If you create more complications and something goes wrong, how will you live with the consequences? Emotion stands at her right, tugging at her hair. Nothing will go wrong. You've sacrificed so much. Don't you deserve a place in the conductor's heart, or to leave a tiny trace? Can you live without it? While she's caught in the conflict, another doubt surfaces. If she were to write, how should she sign it? Should she write as Selena or Iris? A very faint knock at the door interrupts her. Iris, are you awake? Sorry, FOS. Please give me a moment. Iris's body relaxes after responding. She closes her eyes and slowly exhales. When she opens them again, there's no hesitation in her gaze. She'll just leave one line for the conductor without being seen. This is her little secret indulgence and her final solace. The nightingale sighs at dawn, roses burn, moonlight hides. Though the journey has reached its end. Royal blue ink and her characteristically delicate handwriting. She takes one last look at the letter before leaving at once. Sorry, I wanted to let you all rest a bit more. But Jonathan needs to report to the local government soon. Based on our current intel, here's what I'm thinking. After rambling on for a while, you finally notice Iris isn't responding. You look up to see her staring at you, motionless. Iris? In the dawn that clings to time. In the mirror where farewells are whispered. Iris's gaze remains fixed. She makes no attempt to explain herself, only offering a faint smile. I am listening. Please continue. All right. Here's what I'm thinking. Tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, Iris's gaze grows increasingly intense as she stares at the person before her, as if trying to burn their image into her eyes. But my love, please forgive me. But my love, please don't be sad. Bane's capital, City Hall, 7:30 a.m., line spacing 2. Standing across from the City Hall Plaza, Jonathan nervously clutches the terms of agreement he hurriedly drafted overnight. The signing of the New Earth Codex is not an overnight process. It requires many teams to negotiate for days or weeks. In some extreme cases, it may take months just to establish the general direction, followed by years of implementation. Today, however, the terms of agreement in Jonathan's hands and his actions will determine whether Bane is going to begin this process, or more importantly, with what attitude they'll approach it. Jonathan resorts to his usual habit to boost his confidence and takes a deep breath. Chill out. Dandelion's voice suddenly appears at his ear as she straightens Jonathan's collar. Iris and FOS will take care of everything. Just focus on your task. Don't worry. Sure. Jonathan nods slowly, but seriously. He takes out his phone and walks forward. This is a dedicated line for the Bane delegation of the United Government Legal Affairs Department. How may I assist you? Hello, I'm... As you watch Jonathan walk away, your hand resting on the holster quietly flicks the safety off. When will Enora Luya get here? Soon, but it'll be different from before. Enora Luya can traverse time with her domain intact if she's fully prepared, so... Before she can finish, a familiar white noise pierces your ears, followed immediately by white mist coming out of nowhere. Dandelion, get out of here now! Dandelion bolts for the exit without responding or looking back. A stage suddenly materializes. Yeah, the music is very... It's on the warm side of things. It's very lighthearted, kind of, well, not lighthearted, but... Still locked. This door cannot be opened from this side. I knew it. This is just another Dark Souls game. Musical note ornament. A musical note ornament on the wall that is a bit damaged. Perhaps we can fix it. Just reminded me of Shadowbringers from Final Fantasy 14. It kind of started off similarly. In Yomor.
腕は鈍っていませんね。
There's just something about classical music. And my mouse cursor, you can't see it, but like, oh great.
制御室は
It's bugged again. I have to use my mouse. God damn it. Okay, I have to use my mouse cursor to control the camera. I have to click on the screen. Still locked. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now I can... Now it's fixed. Hello, sir. Hello.
警戒線が追加されている。方向は間違っていないようですね。ピッチがずれました。私もまだまだですね。
Why does the camera feel so weird for me when I'm stuck in a corner?
ここで星屑にこの曲を捧げましょう。オーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを奏でましょう。グランディオーソ。グラーベ、フォルティッシモ。
I don't know what it is. The way the camera is moving during combat just feels weird or different.
彼女は何かを隠しているのでしょうか。
It's kind of... I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it feels kind of weird. Display case with gears. Glass case. The gears in it are still moving normally with the click sound. What you doing over there, buddy? Stain. A strange stain. It seems someone spilled some wine and something moved something over it. Complaint message. How many times do I have to tell you? Don't open the new arrivals. Put them in the warehouse behind the wine cabinet. I'm going to kick you out if you dare to put them in the wine cabinet again. Oh, wait. There we go. So awkward doing Control Q like that.
これは秘密の部屋。
Nope, I pressed Q, not E. God damn it. Control E, Control E. Go.
装置が動いた。ここのようですね。
Okay, it seems like whenever I do interactions, that's when my mouse cursor shows up. Again, you don't see it, but I just chose to have it hidden.
これでもう大丈夫。最初のエリアへ戻りましょう。
Ready?
ちゃんと動くようになりましたね。
Medium points. Zero ambient in the mission.
もう少し芸術的に登場してくださるといいのですが。
Oh dear.
ピッチがずれました。私もまだまだですね。えい。えい。
捕獲目標を選択。
ここで星屑にこの曲を捧げましょ
Yeah,
う。
just kind of silence.
Oh,
Well, you only get like some sound effects, like the footsteps and other shit, but that's about all.
即興のレゼル
Bum, 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 bum.
終幕のカーテンコール。ここで転調します。えい。
捕獲目標を選択。
星屑にこの曲を捧げましょう。オーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを火
力制圧。
グランディオーソ。
舞台上のトラブルに即座に対応する。さすがは一流の芸術家ね。
過去は変えられないのです。
何とでも言いなさい。アイリス、このままでは終わらない。楽章を修正。終わ
From
ら
the
さい。
new world. What the what?
観客に一礼して退場なさい。
What in the tap?
グラーベ、フォルティッシモ。
そういうことね。また会いましょう。
Everything,
ア
yeah.
イリス。
That took me off guard.
コンダクター。
Iris, wait.
もう危機は去りました。今このコアを使えばあなたは元の世界へ帰れます。
What about you, Iris?
私には帰るべき場所があります。別れこそ人生の主旋律。 そんな顔をなさらないで。たくさんの人があなたを待っています。そうでしょ。最後のお別れを言うまでまだ少し時間がありますね。
Capitol City Hall, 1630, line spacing 2. Massive buildings shatter and dissipate like mirages all around and turn into white mist, as if the opera is approaching its finale. You arrive with Iris at the theater's edge and cross the boundary between reality and illusion. A brilliant twilight descends once more. You see a visibly excited crowd exiting the city hall, with Jonathan at their center. Dandelion is anxiously gesturing him on the side. The two turn in your direction with grave expressions. They freeze for a moment when they see you and Iris, then break into smiles and wave their arms. Looks like things went smoothly over there, too. Iris stays silent, exhales deeply, then breaks into a soft laugh. Hey, I know everyone's excited, but this is just the first step, folks. The first step. We still have a lot to prepare. Try to calm down, please. I need to check in with my team first. Jonathan quiets the crowd and walks over with Dandelion. Pat his shoulder. Work done? Not quite. We're still a long way off from actually signing the new Earth Codex. Right now, Bane has only expressed interest in the idea. We still need multiple rounds of negotiations, reviews, and signatures. Just the preliminary consultations for the treaty will take a full week. But it's already a very promising start. Jonathan looks at Iris as he speaks. His expression suddenly changes, like he remembered something. It's over now, right? Iris is amused by Jonathan's action. She presses her lips together, exchanges a glance with you, and gives a serious answer. Yes, it's over. Bane has chosen a side, and the general direction is set. It's no longer something Luya can change with a few attacks. From now on, you don't have to worry about your safety. Phew, thank goodness. Huh? Really? I thought in the beginning you told me that it's only over after the formal signing of the Codex. Don't we have one more week? Iris pauses for a split second without being noticed and dismisses Dandelion's claim with nonchalance. Things don't always go as planned, and besides, isn't the treaty signing process starting tonight? Ah, yes. Thanks to our preparations, Bane is quite satisfied with the attitude shown by the United Government. As a gesture of goodwill for our concessions on certain terms, they're hosting an evening reception at the Yukine Hotel at our delegation, symbolizing the official start of the treaty signing process. Once this news is made public, it means that Bane is announcing their position to the entire international community. Come with me, please. Without any of you, I never could have accomplished any of this. I'm sorry, if you say so. Why would you say I'm sorry? Nope. I'll go with you, I guess, if you say so. Your last shred of hesitation vanishes when you meet Iris's gaze. Before we part, there's still a bit of time. Then, Jonathan's eyes dart between you and Iris. Something clicks, and he grabs Dandelion and leaves with a knowing smile. Huh? What are you? So you do tonight. Dandelion and I will wait for you at the hotel. Iris, give Evoes a proper makeover. It's on me. Psst. You. Evoes? Would you accept my invitation? You feign annoyance with a small huff as Iris extends her hand, but ultimately hold it. Let's go. Bane's Capital Shopping District, 1830, line spacing 2. The festive marketplace is lined with promotional signs for sales, discounts, and free gifts. You stroll into several clothing stores, patiently standing like a mannequin while Iris takes her time shopping. You give her a helpless look before Iris finally notices your expression. She holds down a laugh as she calls over a clerk to pay. I'll take all of these. I'll take all these, plus the one FOS is wearing now. Everything together. Here, go change. You take your own clothes from Iris and enter the fitting room. When you come out, you notice she's carrying several shopping bags. Where should we go next? We're done. Let's head back. You reach out to take the bags from her, not understanding what she means. But didn't you say these weren't suitable? I just wanted to fulfill a little wish of mine. I know you wouldn't be comfortable wearing these. We'll just take them home. As she speaks, Iris steps back a little to look you up and down. This outfit definitely suits you better. You look more lively in this. And it gives me peace of mind. Excuse me, thank you for shopping here. Here are your card and receipt. It's a small gift for spending a certain amount. The Kowloon New Year is coming up. The clerk smiles and hands another elegant little bag to Iris. Happy New Year in advance. Oh, thanks. I hope Jonathan doesn't have a heart attack over this. Iris accepts the item with a smile and gives you a meaningful wink. Don't worry, I'm not planning to ask him for reimbursement, because I definitely wouldn't want to buy you clothes in his name. As you exit the store, she immediately opens the gift from the shop and holds it up to her face with delight. What's this? Sparklers. Some traditions in Bane are strangely similar to Kowloon's. Before, Iris suddenly mumbles her words, as if she said something sensitive. I learned about them while studying cultural geography, but I've never actually tried them before. With a flick of her fingers, brilliant colors burst from the tip of the sparkler. Iris holds up the sparkling light, her pupils growing ever brighter in the colorful glow. Something stirs as blurry figures flicker through your memories. It feels like something is about to surface. So, your empty hand reaches out but finds nothing. There's barely a step between you. Iris doesn't notice your actions as she twirls the sparkler, drawing line after line in the air. What are you writing? I'm not telling you. As one sparkler burns out, she quickly lights another and repeats the same shape as before. Isabeni. Selena. She wants to connect these two names together in her heart, even if only for the brief flicker of a sparkler's light. It rained earlier, leaving shallow puddles across the ground that reflect the setting sun, making the scene all the more brilliant. Iris crouches down, silently watching the sparkler's flickering reflection in the puddle. It's almost out. The sun is about to sink below the horizon, and this dream, stolen from the weave of time, is about to end. It's getting dark. Iris. Yeah. Which timeline do you actually belong to? Iris doesn't answer, nor does she look up. She continues to gaze at her own reflection in the puddle. Is this information also under confidentiality protocols? Do you want to come find me? You can't. We are too far apart. It's like going from the very top line of a musical staff to the very bottom. The distance from 1 to 5 in terms of time is already very long. Then, if you want to contact me, just write me letters. Iris smiles at the reflection, but ripples suddenly disturb the puddle, hiding her expression. I'll write to you too, and maybe someday, our letters will bridge space and time, allowing us to meet again. I just hope you won't find me annoying. I might write about lots and lots of trivial things. That's not an option. You sit with Iris in silence, watching the flicker burn. Turning around. Queen's capital, Yukine Hotel 2030, spacing 2. The Grand Hotel Hall gleams with brilliant decorations. A banner celebrating the signing ceremony hangs in the center. Photographers bustle about to record photographers bustle about to record the event from various angles. Glasses clink and lights dance as the crowd's chatter fills the hall with a lively buzz. Jonathan, the man of the hour, basks in attention as people gather around him. Dandelion stands by him with a slightly stiff smile. You thought you and Iris would go unnoticed, but Here's my business card, FOS. Iris, please do give my proposals thought. Okay, I will. Take the card, offer thanks, and find an excuse to leave the social hub with Iris. They're so enthusiastic. Rather unexpected. Really, I actually think catching attention is quite normal for people like us. The United Government has been making too many waves, attracting all sorts of opposition. Every delegation of the New Earth Codex has met trouble to varying degrees. So escorting a key delegation quietly into Bane's capital is no small feat. Iris looks at you with admiration in her eyes. Dandelion told me that among those meeting with Jonathan, only one person had a sour expression. Bane's border security chief. Care for a drink? To celebrate our success? Naturally. You've barely taken a sip when someone's gaze falls on you, forcing you to pause and give a polite nod. There are too many eyes on us. Just as you finish speaking, an announcement echoes through the hall. Iris suddenly pauses with her arm still linked with yours. The signing ceremony for the Codex will start in 30 minutes. We kindly ask all guests to enter in an orderly fashion. If you're uncomfortable here, shall we step outside for a bit? Huh? Okay. You walk next to Iris through the crowd to a higher floor. The city sparkles with lights beneath the night sky like awakened dreams too timid for daylight. Your gaze falls upon the streets below, covered in irregular shadows. At every intersection, travelers hesitate, uncertain whether they should cross the ravines before them. Iris sits at the edge of the rooftop, the evening breeze weaving through her long hair. Her fair face bears the faintest blush, her luminous eyes gazing forward motionless as she contemplates the play of moonlight and shadow below. You look away from the city, but before you can turn around, a warm, soft touch lands on your left hand, resting at your side. Can you tell me your real name, FOS? Your instincts as a commandant tell you to stay silent, but the moment Iris speaks, emotion overrides reason. You don't question why she doubts your name, nor wonder why she's chosen this moment to ask. Usubeni. Usubeni. I love your name. It's so beautiful. A name is the key, a right, a promise from its owner. It holds one's past and future, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. She can finally speak the syllables that have lingered in her dreams without causing suspicion. Usubeni. So she says it once more. The syllables dance on her tongue with the rhythm of poetry. Her fingers tighten around yours as she turns around, her eyes kindling with a faint trace of emotion. Iris slowly lifts her head and traces your features with her gaze again and again. I'll always remember. A whispered confession. Iris had thought all her desires were shredded by the blade of restraint at the moment she made that decision, then burned to ashes in the endless cycle that followed. But now the scattered ashes break free, tearing at her consciousness, desperate to be voiced. Only when she looks back does she realize with a start that they've turned into shackles of thorns. Iris's teeth begin to chatter. She's panicking. Her mind betrays her body, but what of her body itself? What cannot stay will slip away, and the closer you reach, the deeper you fall. Let's go, Sabeni. Finally, Iris lowers her eyes to avoid eye contact before speaking again. Thank you for your help throughout this journey. She takes out the core she got from today's battle. Its once dim markings are now overflowing with the deep blue that represents Iris. Iris. Hush. Wispy white mist begins to surge as Iris presses a finger to her lips. Miss Benny, please don't say anything. What? White noise grows louder as the finger pressed against your lips applies more pressure. You break free from it and try to say something, but everything your eyes can see suddenly becomes shrouded in mist. Bane's capital. Now we're back to the conservation era in the normal timeline. Iris. You reach out, trying to find her, but are lost in the white mist. Commandant? Someone seems to be calling out. Isla? The white mist gradually dissipates, and someone unexpected comes into view. Anomaly detected. Initiating alert mode. Alert mode. Wait. Commandant. It's the Commandant. The sound of weapons being put away rings through the silent mist. You feel like you're breaking through a dream as people rush to your side. Beginning vital signs verification, preparing to collect biological data. Notify Babylonia, the Commandant has returned. You focus your mind again. This is the warehouse in Conservation Area 221, where you last fought with Luya. After a quick identity verification, the isolation is lifted, and Isla dashes into the warehouse, now little more than rubble after the battle. Commandant, we've been looking for you for so long. Where did that mech take you? It's complicated. I'll explain everything to you later. It was a very faraway place. Luckily, everything is resolved now. Resolved? That's good. Oh, right. I think Asimov discovered something. A streak of dark blue appears at the edge of your vision. Wait, those are... Isn't that why we came here? Commandant, are you okay? Isla turns around in confusion. A frame is being transported by several uniformed Babylonia personnel behind her. Immediately, you see the frame's silhouette. Nani? Commandant? Your heart stops briefly before it starts racing. An overwhelming sense of unease envelops your entire being. No, I'm just thinking about how to explain it. I belong to the Union government of another time, Unit number 654, Operation Codename Iris. No, that's not right. It shouldn't be like this. You can't. We are too far apart. It's like going from the top line of a musical staff to the very bottom. The distance from 1 to 5 in terms of time is already very long. You instinctively lick your dry, cracked lips. Iris. Your consciousness begins to jumble as your breathing quickens. Commandant? What's wrong? Too many questions crowd your mind at once. You open your mouth but the words catch in your throat and you stay silent. Beep beep beep. Just then, your terminal chimes with a notification after reconnecting with the network. From Ishmael. Reverse chronology. -14. Ishmael. Let's go with it to shine, OC. Noise from the depths of space buzzes in your ears. For some reason, every time you silently recite this name, countless strange silhouettes appear in your mind. Oh shit! But whenever you try to figure out what they represent, your mind goes blank again. You can't remember. Search Core, Backup Frame Capriccio. Details no registration info. Current location, Conservation Area 221 Warehouse. Frame processing status, pending destruction, 180-03-31. Process registered by Control Court Ishmael. A Babylonia backup frame stored in a Conservation Area warehouse. I think we found the issue. We have 3 hours until it's destroyed. Let's head to the warehouse now. Temporary communication channel established. I've created a combat mission under the Science Council's dispatch authority. I'll assist you in accessing Conservation Area 221's surveillance systems. As for Ishmael, I'll use the Science Council's authority to block her surface access request and stop Ishmael from reaching Conservation Area 221 before you do. I'm on my way to her now. This name, this construct, what does she know? What role does she play in this crazy journey? And does she know? How can I return to that timeline? Iris' smile seems to appear before you. Nights are short during summer. Let's meet before night if we can't make it at dawn. We need to make it in time. We must hurry. The transport ship quickly takes off toward Babylonia, distant yet not so distant. Babylonia Control Court. No! Yeah, when the OC was just getting super good. Ishmael sits at a table, an iris flower is hovering above her hand. It's data that's so exquisitely crafted, it almost looks real. So this bit of power has been given to you. It almost affects even me. This is truly incredible. The iris flower slowly rotates. The dots of light gradually outline the scene where Iris and the Commandant stand in confrontation. When Teddy asks why she wanted to destroy the Capriccio frame, Ishmael had almost forgotten the reason, until she touches the device that doesn't belong here. That device the Science Council named White Noise. Memories sealed away by twisted timelines awaken in her deep mind. Ishmael narrows her eyes, her pupils radiating with strange colors. Ah, it's you. The control court receives a rare visitor. I know it's you. Merciful one, I can sense it. The girl looks at the pink-haired woman in front of her with eager yet sorrowful eyes. So direct. Just call me Ishmael. The door gently closes as an invisible strange force distorts the space, preventing cameras from peering into the scene here. Ishmael, a lady. I would like to ask for your assistance. From what I know, you've acquired a new frame, called Pianissimo, right? It's a fine name. If you're trying to revert back to a construct, I'm sorry, but the punishing has already invaded your mind. This is irreversible, and even I am powerless to reverse it. 2 cups of coffee silently materialize on the table, their rich aroma filling the air. Thank goodness, you still remember me. She exhales deeply, then settles uneasily into her chair. Question mark? Ishmael displays a perfect look of confusion. I'll never forget everything you've done for me, and I'm not here to ask for that. What I want to ask is, please tell me how to stop that red-haired invader who calls herself Inora Luya. You must have heard it too. That voice. Ishmael quietly picks up her coffee, dropping 4 sugar cubes into it. The calm surface breaks, rippling outward. Area 221 sometime earlier. Conductor, this way. Fire! Sharp gunshots tear through the quiet forest, sending birds scattering. The red-haired pursuer is hit, but she seems unconcerned. She continues to track the pair after discarding the damaged parts of herself. How could this be? Be careful. She's become stronger. You carefully check your protective suits for any damage while hiding in the bushes. You hold your breath as you move with Selena in a different direction. A few days ago, while on a surface mission with Selena escorting the archaeological team, a construct who called herself Inora Luya appeared out of nowhere and pointed her weapon at you without a word. With Selena's help, you managed to drive off this construct, but Babylonia couldn't find any information about her at all. While Babylonia had made the incident a top priority and was investigating her identity, this Inora Luya showed up again. How did she resurrect herself? And how did she evade Babylonia's investigation and track you into this conservation area? You have no time to think. Your enemy's footsteps are just inches away. Stand up and open fire. The cold construct points her weapon at you, but before she can strike, Selena attacks her from behind. Just like before, she is easily defeated. Her armor scatters across the ground. Conductor, are you alright? Selena rushes over, examining the wounds on your body. I'm okay. It's so painful. I'm okay. You've lost so much blood. You quickly dress your wounds as Selena watches blood seep through the white gauze with sorrow in her eyes. Is she gone? Yeah, just like last time, she is shattered into pieces. What is she trying to do? She wants to kill me. She wants me dead. This is obvious, but you have no idea why. After reporting the incident, nobody could find any information whatsoever about this construct. What's strange is that she always manages to track you down. What's even weirder is, I was on Babylonia, but when I woke up, I was in this conservation area. You check your terminal and find out you have been dispatched to the surface for a ground mission. This is a mission to investigate an unidentified ascendant that showed up near the conservation area. Me too. She takes out her terminal, which shows the exact same mission. Investigate the unidentified ascendant. The faint mist rising from the coffee becomes transparent in the sunlight, as dust dances like musical notes in the window frame's shadow. Ishmael stares at the girl as she anxiously recounts her recent experiences. After that, the same events seem to keep repeating. I heard the jumbled noise of time distortion. It sounded like Luya was somehow using the past to do something. The past? Yes, that day when Conductor was injured, I led her in a different direction, trying to divert Louis's attention, but I used the punishing to capture notes from the past, just like how I used to read the red tide. The next second, she appeared in the past. So this bit of power has been given to you. That's why you looked blurry even to me, and I could barely remember who you were. Ishmael chuckles quietly, taking a small sip of coffee that has just the right sweetness. Having interfered with the workings of this world, she had to pay a price to stop them from noticing this place. But she wasn't expecting part of the power that she scattered as the price to be absorbed by Selena, whose core she reshaped. Huh? I see. Okay. So that's how Selena is able to... Okay. Huh. Huh. How interesting. Yeah. She is enjoying watching this dramatic story unfold. What happened next? What did you see? I found out that Luya was also in the past. She seemed to be trying to modify the past. Luya used her identity to disguise herself as an unidentified ascendant to attack the conservation area. She eventually figured out Babylonia's action patterns through her many attacks. When an unidentified ascendant appears, Babylonia would send the nearest commandant and constructs over. By deducing where they would appear, she could find the conductor. Lost, Selena clenches her fingers. However tough her enemies might be, she had always believed in her ability to overpower them. But what if the enemy never stops coming across countless timelines? I came to ask how I could defeat Luya. Who is she? Anora Luya. Setting down her coffee cup, Ishmael ponders for a moment. I heard you like flowers, but do you understand giant trees? Giant trees. When branches grow abundant and the crown becomes massive, if the foliage is not and heavy snow gathers, the whole tree may collapse. Only by trimming away some branches can the main trunk continue to grow upward. The trimmed branches are destined to wither, but the branches don't know that. To the branches, they are their own main trunk. Is Conductor the one who trims the branches? Rumors that the Grey Raven Commandant has been dealing with post-war trauma are nothing new. Ishmael answers with a smile. My ability to stabilize my mind and recover my memories was also because of Conductor. Too many voices are mixed in the tide, making it impossible to find the correct information. That was indeed the reason for your quick recovery. But a killer from the future. Ishmael isn't surprised that the red-haired construct has the power of regression, but doesn't know the extent of it. When branches fall, they cannot see their sad fate, and can only try to correct what they consider to be the wrong timeline. Before Grey Raven absorbed the information from the Hetero Tower, branches inside the tower were already stacked high, as precarious as a pile of eggs. These branches incubated countless futures. Although the fate of all branches is annihilation, it's not surprising that some could incubate futures with technology surpassing the current Babylonia. Ishmael's literally explaining how this whole timeline stuff is going in the story of PGR here. Is this the first challenge you'll have to face in the final world? Basically, the whole branch thing and the tree thing could be applied to the story of like Wither the Shine there. It's like that, like that's probably the best explanation for it. She murmurs to herself. Anora Luya, her true form, is most likely hidden in a more distant past. Only the past can influence the present, so defeating her at this point in time is meaningless. In any case, if you know a way to deal with her, please tell me. Yeah, okay, yeah. Probably just that little bit right there is why is like main chapter material. But it's kind of like just like a small portion of it. It's still overall, you know, in its entirety, still does feel like a floating record type of story. I'm willing to pay any price I can for the answer. Ishmael smiles as she gives her an answer. Locate the coordinates where she appears, travel back to before she arrives, and stop everything she intends to do. But doing so will remove you from the normal timeline, and you already know the price you'll have to pay. Yeah, everyone pretty much forgets you. You will be forgotten. But once I go back to the past, won't I also affect the past? If you affect the past, the present may change as well. Once a butterfly's wings flutter, there's no predicting what kind of storm they might unleash. She doesn't mind being forgotten, but she does care whether it would affect the world where Conductor is. Though it might sound easy, but Conductor must have paid an incredible price for this. That depends on how you do it. If you can get there before her every time, stomp her and make everything disappear, then the past won't affect the present. But I don't know what would happen if I failed. I see. If you have actually obtained part of that power, maybe you can try time slicing. She thinks for a moment, then gently shakes her head. That wouldn't be the ideal either. We'll need to find Luia's original body for the time loop to seal her within it. The price in question would be triggering flashbacks. The Hetero Tower. But how can I find her original body? That becomes another problem. Thank you. I know what to do now. Selena stands up and bows deeply to Ishmael. So please, help me. Tie up the loose ends of this finale. What do you want to do? I'll pursue Anora Luia until I catch her original form. Back when the Pianissimo frame was being created, a backup Capriccio frame was stored away. The girl looks up, her face tinged with both sorrow and determination. I'ma kill that bitch. If being forgotten is my fate, please help me by destroying the Capriccio frame. As you wish. Selena lets out a relieved sigh and hurriedly thanks her again. I must thank you for your selflessness. If I manage to return, I'll do everything in my power to help you. Time is running out. I must go now. Her fingers pause on the doorknob as she casts a reluctant glance at the window. Out the window. A moment later, she firmly opens the door and walks out of the control court and into the setting sun. Good luck. The trailing sounds of her words stretched like threads, turning into the shape of harp strings in the shadows of sunlight. So, here we are. The iris made of data slowly spins as its dots of light gradually dissipate. Using the damage Luia has inflicted on the world as coordinates to pinpoint the timeline where Luia's true form exists, and creating fragmentary loops. It looks like you've made up your mind. Footsteps suddenly appear in the hallway, and seconds later an urgent knock rattles the door. Come in. Standing at the doorway is none other than the Commandant, who confronted Iris in the data projection moments ago. Ishmael. Grey Raven. Yuzabeni, I knew you would come. Seated at the table, Ishmael is wearing an odd smile. For some reason, that smile feels strangely familiar, yet, unlike the bizarre silhouettes, whenever you try to place it, your mind goes completely blank. But now isn't the time to dwell on that. Casting aside your doubts, you take out the Capriccio frame destruction records Teddy found and put them in front of Ishmael. I need an explanation, Ishmael. The origin of this frame and why you wanted to destroy it. If you had come any earlier, I wouldn't have been able to give you an answer. As it happens, I've just recovered some interesting memories. Besides, this isn't your only question, right? You fall silent, then pull out a chair and sit down before meeting Ishmael's gaze. Why does this frame look exactly like Iris? Some secrets need to be kept. I can only tell you the basics. Her silvery white pupils shimmer with strange iridescence. For some reason, the longer you look at her, the dizzier you become. Because I'm not the one who authored the rest of the story. On her desk, an iris flower made of data slowly takes shape. You've already met Enora Luya, the one who distorts history, a criminal against time itself. Yes and no. That is indeed her goal, but now all of Enora Luya's actions have become indirect. Because her true target is now under protection. You're saying... What are you trying to say? That's right. You are, in fact, Enora Luya's target. We were the first to discover Enora Luya's existence, and we've been fighting for a long time to stop her from disrupting history. To be frank, if we had been a bit faster, this would likely have been resolved already, and you wouldn't have been dragged into it. This is different from what I know. Of course, you've successfully returned to the present, so you trust Iris's statements more. She smiles gently as she picks up the iris flower. Let me guess. Iris told you you just need to defeat Enora Luya. It will all be over. Relax. This war is almost over. I'm executing the final and most critical mission, escorting the target to the designated location. If all goes according to plan, Enora Luya will be waiting for me there. Once I defeat her, everything will be fine. As for returning, you don't need to worry about that. Iris hesitates, then quickly begins to explain, as if she's just made up her mind about something. Once I complete the final mission, I'll destroy her main body and get the new device. By then, I'll be able to send you back to where you came from by using duplicates to traverse through time. So, on this journey with Iris, have you seen, or rather, do you remember what Enora Luya looks like? I mean, besides that massive metal form. A smile ripples across her face as Ishmael's fingers crush the iris hand in her hand. Iris flower in her hand. It shatters and scatters away. Very good. I think you're beginning to understand this story now. Dash 15 Echo. Okay. Last note was pretty interesting. Capital, spacing 2. Hands point to the scheduled time. Even from the rooftop, cheers from below can be heard over the fireworks that rise and burst across the night sky. It's almost time for the final act of this play. Iris can still feel the lingering warmth of that person. She turns toward the empty space, pretending they're still there. Conductor. Her whispered words shatter in the air. Not even starlight can carry her longing to the one she is thinking of. It's about to end, all of this. She nestles against the cold wind and gazes down at the countless nights below, lights both illusory and real. In her attempt to escape, Luya accidentally brings her conductor. Like a despicable thief, she steals the final moments of tenderness from the flow of time. But now, with Bane's signing of the treaty, the wheels of history roll toward their destined end. Spacing 3. The cycle is now complete. These branches and leaves are about to break away from the trunk, transforming it into a real prison. It's about to end. White mist spreads across the rooftop once more. The piercing white noise drowns out the fire's screams. She can already hear Enora Luya's notes, hurried and broken, summoning the powers scattered across the timelines, waiting to break free from the prison. It's been a long time. Before she even realizes it, the red-haired construct is standing behind her. A thin blade pushes against her neck, sending a chill through her body. Iris can even hear their breathing. Iris. No, Selena. You are an excellent performer. You can handle even the worst stage accidents, but now, hiding your traces, escorting others, how much strength do you have left? What a shame. You were this close to success, yet you threw it all away for that person. Blue strings shimmer with starlight on the tip of Luya's blade. If it weren't for the conductor, you would have left this place long ago, back in Fast City. Save your pathetic remarks. You're losing my respect. If you're so curious about how much strength I have left, why don't you take a swing and find out? As you wish. The slender blade twirls in midair before returning firmly to Luya's grasp. A sharp whistle pierces the air as metallic sparks and flashes burst like fireworks. Luya thrusts her face close to Iris, her gaze ferocious and wild. I really, really, really wanted to be your friend, if not for all of this. So Virgil. If, but that's just an if. You have your convictions, and I have someone I must protect, even at the cost of my life. She flips and leaps from the tall building, catching sight of the starry sky. The dark night is adorned with silent stars, and the sun has yet to rise. The sun will never rise again. But it doesn't matter. Luya catches up, and they briefly clash in midair. Red and blue threads flash through the darkness before everything falls silent once more. Keep playing, Iris. The victor will soon be revealed. Iris lands with graceful ease. Ahead lies the final stage she prepared long ago. The sun will never rise again, but she knows the sun exists, and that's enough, right? She will succeed. She must succeed. Babylonia 2145, spacing 0. Ishmael sets down her coffee cup with leisurely grace. To stop Enora Luya, Iris created a time prison and locked her inside. It's the place you left earlier. Time prison? The place I just left? I just came up with that name. With our current technology, there's probably no way to define that space. How do you know? Well, how could Iris possibly have such power? Shh. Don't think about irrelevant things. An intense wave of dizziness explodes in your head as if trying to stop you from asking more questions. Don't worry. When the time comes for you to remember, it will come back to you. Ishmael pushes a cup of coffee across the table. The bitter aroma dilutes the chaotic memory shards, helping to stabilize your consciousness. But you quickly catch her points. Iris never actually left, right? If we could defeat Enora Luya so easily, why did she need to do all of that? With that device, the one named White Noise, she can use her frame's traits to manifest her power at any point in the past timeline. Iris had no choice but to lure the pest into a branch of the trunk, and then completely sever that branch from the trunk. This way, even if the pest completely destroys the branch, it won't affect the trunk at all. But Iris, that's right, she too will follow that branch and disappear forever. Don't be sad, FOS. Farewells. That's what life always comes back to. The girl's desolate poetry finds its meaning in this moment as she embraces death and drives herself away from the prison she had built. Why can't she get out? As the creator, if she leaves the prison before it's complete, it would collapse and the pest would continue to infest the trunk. She would never do that. The pink-haired woman's expression is filled with compassion. If I could use that device to get back there. Being threatened again. You can't. Luya could only catch up because she was latching onto Iris's echo, that frame called Capriccio. Your fight in the warehouse severely damaged Capriccio, destroying some information, so the frame has lost its value as a temporal locator. Even if the Science Council figured out how to activate the device, there's no way to locate the exact time where they are. Also, even if you could find that exact time, what could you possibly do? With a slight lift of her finger, dots of light dash across the data field, gradually forming the shape of a tree trunk. If you return to that prison, and the connection between you is re-established, you could ruin everything she's done. Is there no other way? No. When the events she's set finish their final cycle, that's when the branch will completely separate from the trunk. Unless... Anyways, there's absolutely no way you could find any trace of them. She gives you a meaningful look. Thank you. But there's always a way. You still don't know what happened before, but one thing is certain, Iris is still fighting for this world and for you. She shouldn't be alone. As you turn to push open the door, Ishmael's hollow voice comes from behind. Remember, it's the final cycle. Okay. You wave goodbye and leave the control cord. Science Council. Asimov sits at his desk with arms crossed, silently thinking about the best project files and research papers like Principles of Locating Special Echo Signals Based on Spatial Signal Frequencies. Asimov? Sit down. That device. Where were you transported to? You speak at the same time, then stop at the same time. I was transported to the Golden Age, Fast City. But it wasn't exactly a complete Golden Age. I was right. It doesn't just pinpoint a location, but also time. Asimov quickly jots down notes on his terminal, then pauses, lost in thought. It's a positioning device. The conditions for activation are sufficient computing power and sound. Sound? Asimov taps on his terminal and opens an audio file. Wait. The audio file plays. You don't hear anything, but the device nearby silently begins to flicker with eerie red light. Nothing happens. No Luya, no white mist, no fissures, and no traveling through time. How? Is it broken? It's not. It did activate. It's the sound. Okay. He opens a research paper and points to a section titled Special Echo Signal Positioning. This research paper outlines a prototype for that device. I discovered its activation principle based on this paper. Theoretically, it can travel back in time, but only backward, not forward. Echoes. This device can only locate echo signals. Once a sound is emitted, it is already in the past. Excuse me. The device didn't function because the sound wasn't right. The sound wasn't right, so it couldn't function. The existing sounds that can trigger this device come from two recordings. The first was taken from the surveillance footage of when you disappeared, the second from Abyss Research Institute. A few years ago, Teddy captured noise from surveillance footage near Abyss Research Institute that had frequencies very similar to the first audio file, but with subtle differences. If the intruder didn't reappear, then you must be right. Something in the past caused Abyss Research Institute's records to be erased in the present. So it's also Luya. I don't know who Luya is, but the disappearance of Abyss must be connected to the owner of this device. The erase action also seems to have limitations. It can only erase information produced directly. Once that information mixes with other data, the results are preserved. The missing process critical to the Abyss research project came from the early Abyss Research Institute, yet we have the results from the Tenebrion research. This might also explain why Capriccio didn't disappear along with Iris. So how can we make it work? Time is a forbidden research subject. Reversing time is extremely dangerous. But Iris is still trapped in the time prison. Iris? She belongs to this timeline. She is Capriccio. I briefly explain Iris' situation. Asimov thinks in silence, his fingers rapidly tapping on the table. So you're saying Iris is in this time prison, fighting a future invader named Luya? Yes. If it weren't for this device, your medical report showing no abnormalities, I would think you were still suffering from mass hysteria. Shrug. It is the truth. He looks at white noise in front of him. To activate it, you need a specific frame and a specific voice. Gestalt's computing power is sufficient to simulate the frame, but if you want to find clues about Iris, you must locate her voice. Capriccio was accidentally destroyed by the invader during the fight, and now, how are you going to find her voice? The scattered clues gradually piece themselves together in your mind. Thank you for the compliment. I do enjoy writing scripts in my spare time. If my past self were writing this, I probably would have made the resolution process more complex, like you said. FOS. Would you be my audience? Certain age groups showed reactions beyond typical observations. The reactions weren't obvious, often just casual comments or remarks, but they became significant once the sample size increased. I've divided these individuals into two distinct groups based on their reactions. The first group shares an obvious trait, affiliation with the WGAA, Alan and certain other WGAA members, for example. Opera, the Acadia Evacuation, WGA, FOS. Construct, Capriccio, Iris, FOS, WGA, World Blue Ink, Iris, letters, WGA, oh god. Text, words, letters, on the screen. You feel a strange sense of deja vu. The letters that fell from the mailbox, sealed with exquisite wax. Bearing the stamp of the WGA, letters bearing the stamp of the WGAA. I might be able to find her voice. Black screen of words. 10 nights transform into dawn. The past flows into the future, and the future flows into oblivion. You've traversed 1,000 rose gardens and 1,000 winding corridors. Wherever you sing, someone will follow your song to find you. (16) Clarity. Every step leaves its mark. Something happened in the past that caused traces of the present to be erased. When the traces of the present are erased, they leave behind echoes that humans cannot hear. You hurry back to the lounge. Inside the mailbox are neatly arranged letters with only your name and elegant wax stamps. They're like an endless dream. Iris, it's you, isn't it? The jarring tune transforms into a delicate melody, lingering between the window frames and the letters. After carefully collecting all the letters, you bring them to the Science Council, where Asimov is waiting. According to the report that dates them, these letters here should be the most recent ones. He picks out a few thin sheets of paper. Can we ask for the surveillance footage from around these time points? Without question, I'll go see Celica. Requests like these are always quickly approved. Shortly after learning the situation, Celica authorized the request to access the surveillance footage around the Grey Raven Commandant's dorm. Not long after, Teddy also receives a call for assistance and hurries over. This part here. At 3 a.m., most of Babylonia has fallen silent. The Commandant's dorm is no exception. The few remaining lights go out one after another, leaving only the grainy electronic noise in the clip. We got a match. Right here. Nothing shows up on screen, yet Teddy's audio monitoring program shows an unusual wavelength pattern. I can't hear anything. The noise has such an unusual frequency that even constructs can't hear it. If we didn't happen to have a construct of modified auditory systems at the time, I wouldn't have thought about the noise. I saved several surveillance clips and analyzed the data to identify a common sound pattern. This program will send an alert when it detects a matching signal, like this. He plays that clip again, and an alert pops up on the program at exactly the correct time. This timestamp is roughly when you said Iris slowly disappeared. Now that we have this audio clip, what should we do with it? Can I find Iris using the white noise device? Of course not. The white noise device needs great computing power and has to be connected to a specialized construct structure. Unfortunately, you can't do any of these. Theoretically, this device should be able to read specific audio signals and convert them into something concrete, like location data, images, or other forms. I'll recall Hamlet from the WGAA and modify it a little to connect it to the white noise device. I'll use Gestalt's computing power to attempt to run, but as for what we can get, there are no guarantees. Thank you. No worries. I'm also curious about its practical uses. What else can I do to help? Try to remember everything about Iris through videos, notes, anything. Just remember her. According to what you've told us, she exists in a time slice. After you leave that area, your memories of her might fade. If she is actually a Babylonian construct as you said, then her mind will have a virtual neural array structure. Inver-device signals. Right. You should know that familiarity will allow a Commandant's mind beacon to detect inver-device signals from nearby constructs. I'm not sure if white noise can actually pinpoint the location of that time slice, but if it could, then you would be the only one who could find her. I see. Asimov recalls Hamlet with maintenance as an excuse and attempts to install an interface for white noise. Using the first bit of noise caught in the Commandant's dorm, you enter Hamlet once more to trace whispers coming from a distant time and space. If anything weird happens, notify me immediately so I can halt the process. This attempt is dangerous. Asimov's voice sounds muffled coming from outside the machine. Roger that, understood. Rosa activated. Of course. The jarring white noise suddenly grows, swarming your mind. What's happening? Your vision in the dark suddenly shrinks to a dot, and daylight floods this virtual world. Conductor. Conductor? You see Iris wearing a worried expression. Behind her is Babylonia veiled in darkness. Selena. Your mind suddenly becomes clear. You speak her name. Conductor, how are your wounds? Harry Potter and the Dragon Egg sound. It all happened so quickly. Luya probably secretly did something. The soldiers at the airport have completely forgotten about me. Seeking help from the military is a bad idea, so I can only hide you here for now. I'm fine. Cough. Like watching a scripted play, your vision can only focus on yourself in this moment, replaying memories buried deep down. She seems to be summoning courage and pauses for a while before speaking again. I went to see that person. That person? Yes. Without her permission, I can't reveal her identity, but I found a way to fight against Luya. That's wonderful. How do we do that? Nora Luya, her true form is hiding far away. Conductor, please stay in Babylonia for now, because... Darkness shrouds her face in the night. After a brief pause, Selena speaks again. Because I'll need your help at any moment, so please stay in Babylonia. Once you get my distress signal, report to the military and bring Grey Raven to help me defeat Nora Luya. But can you do it alone? No, that's too risky. Trust me. I'm not sure what Luya has done, but someone without a past like me can better track her down. Otherwise, the impact would be much greater, with terrible consequences. You can't let Babylonia be in such danger. But your consciousness starts fading from blood loss. You struggle to grab Selena's hand, but your arm falls to your side. Selena gently takes your limp hand in hers. Please wait for me, Conductor. Aye. Her gentle whisper disperses into the night sky, carried away by the breeze. That's what happens when you take your pills. The letter gently drifts down. Written in royal blue ink, 2 lines of delicate handwriting are stained with tears. Why did this mad rose bloom? When my soul knew only solitude. If irises could bloom in the cracks of time, perhaps their fragrance would help you remember. Hang on, let me just double check that's actually... Okay. The pale handwriting fades with the girl's departure. You sink deeper into darkness. Conductor? Who's Benny? Oh, okay. Oh god, what happened? Where am I? The dizziness from blood loss still lingers. As the harsh static subsides, you hear Asimov calling from outside the machine. Has the device located the source of that noise? It did. Now you're saying things in the text. Hamlet faithfully converts the signals into images, displaying them as holograms. Or holographs. Mr. Asimov, the Grey Raven Commandant doesn't look well. Should we pause the experiment? You don't have to. Continue. Art imitates life or something. Asimov turns to look at you after making sure all your vital signs are normal on a monitor. Both your physical readings and mind beacon data are fine. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Asimov waves his hand to tell the researchers to continue, then turns to face you. Don't push yourself too hard. Even if you manage to connect to Iris's inverter device, it won't do anything if your mind beacon disconnects. Okay, I know. Rosa input the second segment of noise. Input successful. Rosa's voice is instantly drowned out by violent static. Conductor. The girl leaps with lightning speed. Before you can react, she has drawn her weapon and blue threads are about to strike you from behind. Turn around and open fire. Sidestep to evade. Sidestep. Whee! Or mad people with Ghost Girlfriend. You immediately turn sideways, dodging to the side. The metal armor misses and instantly jumps backward. Selena's attack follows yours, filling the air with twinkling blue starlight. Materialize the ghost. Neat for sure. The metal armor emits an unintelligible sound, crumbles like sand, and shatters to pieces under your combined attacks. Another clone. This is already the 5th. Conductor, are you alright? She looks at you with concern. Easy, I'm fine. The unusual construct named Luya has just launched her 5th ambush. The process is almost identical every time. You arrive in Babylonia in a hurry, report the incident, and investigations on this construct begin, but they can never find any leads. As the sun rises on the 3rd day, you wake up in this conservation area again. The mission on your terminal still reads, investigate the unidentified ascendant near the conservation area. It's almost like time is cursed by Kronos. But I'd rather it be a time loop, or else your wounds. Time only appears to be in a loop, but the days on the calendar keep changing. No one knows exactly how Luya altered the past, but Hippocrates and Asimov already found something weird through the accumulating wounds on your body. But in the past, you were still the Grey Raven Commandant without any field missions. She's probably using her clone to repeatedly simulate traces of the unidentified ascendant yesterday, prompting Babylonia to dispatch the Grey Raven Commandant from the nearest conservation area. Changing events from the past. It's cheating. You're cheating! Luya is a cheater confirmed. I've tried to seek help from the military, but after providing information, the past always gets erased, leaving just an anomaly at the target location. I also tried to leave clues on paper, but whenever we meet again in the conservation area, the words disappear. Just like the pile of blank reports accumulating on Celica's desk. Just like the pile of blank medical reports accumulating at the Star of Life. Memories are deleted, and any traces of the past are erased. A flicker of worry crosses her eyes, but she quickly forces herself to brighten up. Maybe next time we'll manage to defeat her original body, who knows? Okay, we will. Selena reaches into her pocket and takes out a sheet of paper. This is the 5th letter now. I wrote down our experiences. Where are the other 4? The writing on the first one disappeared, so I destroyed it. I left the second one in the conservation area. The 3rd and 4th letters, I sealed them in bottles and buried them here today. And this 5th one, I'll leave this one to you, Conductor. She puts the letter in an envelope and hands it to you. When people are no longer fooled by time, when the warm winter sun burns in the sky once more, will you see my wish written in the spaces between the lines? Conductor. You jolt awake in the darkness, head drenched in sweat. Give me my terminal. Give me pen and paper. I need to write this down. You quickly record the location of the conservation area before the memory fades, before finally letting out the breath stuck in your chest. Coordinates? It's where Iris and I... It's where Selena and I defeated Luya. In the memory not yet withered by time, you clearly remember the image of Luya's clone shattering. Give me my super suit. A device identical to the white noise was left on the ground. Asimov, is the white noise a complete device? Not. The one we have is a child device that needs a parent device. The parent device anchors coordinates, while the child device locates and positions, creating a two-way connection. How did you know? Every time we defeat Luya, her clone would drop this device. Immediately send the military to search for white noise devices at these coordinates. Okay. If we find more devices, how would that help? We could strengthen the locator signal. We might even be able to pinpoint the coordinates of the parent device. That's not enough. I remember there's this third segment of noise. There was the final bit of useful noise extracted from your letters. Are you sure you want to access it now? Yes. Establish connection. Asimov checks each connection cable methodically right away before reactivating Hamlet. Try to remember every detail just like the coordinates. Noise input successful. A familiar, extremely loud ring pierces through your ears. Goading humanity. Asimov the goat! He is that dude. He's one hell of a dude. Yeah, Asimov's awesome. I love him. You open your eyes again to find yourself inside a transport aircraft. The terminal is on the mission screen. Escort the archaeological team on a surface mission. Meet with Selena in the conservation area, and investigate the unidentified ascendant found near the conservation area. On the small table in front of you is a letter. Dear Isubeni, hello. It is now 23:30. That's 11:30 p.m. Considering human sleep schedules, maybe you have already retired for the night. I was going to share my day with you. How I found a flower near the conservation area that I had never seen before, and tried a fruit with a most peculiar flavor. But none of that is as important as what I need to tell you next. I heard sounds of the past becoming distorted, and I'm worried. I'm very worried. I feel like something is about to happen, but I don't know how to warn you about it. I hope it's just my imagination. I really cherish these hard-earned moments we have now. We'll see each other in a few days. I heard you took this mission, and I'm very happy. Looking forward to your arrival. Yours, Iris. So if you ever wish to have a romance like this, just get a pen pal. Just kidding. Homecoming. Selena. Iris. The memories of fighting beside Selena feel close yet worlds away. They are shattered chips sliced by distorted time, interweaving and rising in your mind. We found them. Mr. Asimov. The task force members brought the white noise devices they found. Rosa trots along, cradling several more white noise sealed in boxes. We have 6 in total. Is that enough? That's good enough. Asimov takes the devices and pauses for a moment before turning toward Hamlet, which is connected to various cables. How long will it take? Not long. I planned for more than one white noise, so now I just need to add connection ports and increase the computing power. Get ready and stand by. You're sure about going through with this. Please do so. Night smears the sunlight by your ear in a piercing white as discordant voices urge you to hurry. Hurry. Remember, it's the final cycle. You got your one chance at this. The final cycle, which specific time does that refer to? Going through all memories that are still clear, you search desperately for the most likely answer. Really? I thought in the beginning you told me that it's only over after the formal signing of the Codex. Don't we have one more week? This OC is pretty good, yeah. Ejiro OC is always bang. 1 week. After leaving the time prison, you and Asimov determined that the flow of time inside the time prison should match the flow of time here. Today marks the 7th day since you returned to Babylonia. It's been 7 days already? Really? Since we got out of that time prison? 1 week already? That's quick. Asimov calmly yet quickly assembles the components, attaching them to the other end of Hamlet's connection cable. Preparing to connect white noise number 2. First test preparations complete. Recording data. Starting first data recording. White noise imperceptible to humans echoes through the room. You're falling behind, Iris. Oh, are we gonna, just transport ourselves right in the middle of this fight? Hidden under the theater steps, a familiar melody in her mind urges her to press forward. is yet again suffering. Almost. Line spacing 4. Data recording complete. No anomalies detected. Preparing to connect white noise number 4. Third test preparations complete. Recording data. Starting third data recording. It's too late, Iris. Even if you had double the time, it still wouldn't be enough. I can easily crush you to pieces before I sink into the abyss. Iris stays quiet under the relentless pressure. Her breathing grows increasingly loud as the strain on every part of her body intensifies. Gears spin fast. Cracks grow bigger. The light on the surface of the body dims for a moment and suddenly shines bright. Almost there. Iris, hang in there. Iris bites Iris bites her lips as they tremble. Vital fluid comes out, but she looks more determined. Line spacing 4. Final confirmation. I'll use the seventh white noise we have to pinpoint locations using 3-phase noise patterns to reverse trace the coordinates of their parent device. This might disrupt your mind beacon. You need to keep your mind clear while you search for signals from the construct and figure out if the signal is the correct one. Once the connection is established, you'll be able to use the mind beacon for communication. In theory, as long as her mind is still active, your mind beacon should be able to find her. Ah, I see. So we're not going to be physically there, but our minds will still connect. Okay. Be careful out there. All preparations are complete. You connect with Hamlet once again. Remote connection technology allows you to synchronize with constructs, but I'm not sure if it's possible to use white noise at this distance. This is our only chance. I understand. Your eyes close, and an intense buzzing jams your ears as your brain seems to tremble with the vibrations. I'll still be traumatized. Countless vague images flicker before you, then everything plunges into darkness. A whale song resonates from the depths of your consciousness. Iris. Lena. What's happening? A violent explosion slams Iris into a wall. Debris rains down, leaving hideous wounds across her body. Her arm was nearly torn from the joint. Without giving Iris a break, Luya's steps close in on her again. It's time for your curtain call, no matter how reluctant you are. A performer should know when to exit the stage. You got this, Zelina. Iris lifts her head with great effort. Her unfocused pupils look past Luya at the dome beyond, where the artificial starry sky slowly detaches from the true universe. Light and shadows shift. Time stretches. The branches and leaves are about to split from the trunk. This space, this theater is about to become the final prison that traps Luya. Conductor, I'm sorry. In her hazy vision, the silhouette of her beloved disperses into mist. I'm sorry, my love. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, my love. Please don't be sad. Iris whispers as she closes her eyes. Her arm falls limp, stirring dust as it hits the ground. She can feel the cold light of a blade closing in on her face. Conductor. An epic whale song suddenly erupts from her deep mind, dispelling the farewell on her lips. The familiar lighthouse shines blinding rays through her muddled consciousness. Echoes reach her ears and Iris feels confused for a moment. Yes. Homecoming.
あなたのダンスパートナーはもういない。一人でカーテンコールをするつもり？それならそのまま退場なさい。遠距離攻撃準備完了。
星屑にこの曲を捧げましょう。えい。ピッチがずれました。私もまだまだですね。えい。
捕獲目標を選択。
オーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを奏でましょう。グランディオース即興のレセリブ終幕のカーテンコール。えい。
確証を修正。終わらなさい。
おう。
ピッチがずれました。私もまだまだですね。えい。ここで星屑にこの曲を捧げましょう。オーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを奏で。
捕獲目標を選択。
グランディオーソ。
エラーパンツ発送。
羽ばたく鳥と流れる霞にさ。グラーベフォルティッシモ。ピッチがずれました。私もまだまだですね。ピッチがずれました。せめてオーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを奏でましょう。
I messed up a bit.
観客に一
あ
致して退場なさい。
It's kind of throwing me off that Selena doesn't go into the matrix whenever you dodge attacks.
ピッチ
Yeah. It's kind of like messing me up a bit.
捕獲目標を選択。
うわ
ここで星屑にこの曲を捧げましょう。オーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを奏でましょう。グラーベフォルティッシモ。
It's the Orcust deck from Yu-Gi-Oh! It's Orcust.
ピッチがずれました。私もまだまだですね。えい。ピッチがずれました。私もまだまだですね。えい。こ こで星屑にこの曲を捧げましょう。オーバーチュアはここまで。ライトモチーフを奏でましょう。グランディオーソ。
次の幕が開くわよ。
ここで星屑にこの曲を捧げましょう。終幕のカーテンコール。
I'm not getting over those pings.
ピッチがずれました。私もまだまだですね。オーバーチュアはここまで。
一緒に
So you only have those four, right?
やがるのよ。
グラーベ、
Unless that's normal.
フォルティッシモ。
Oh, here we go.
幕引きよ。
グラーベ、フォルティッシモ。
Oh, jeez, hit with moonlight occultation. Jeez, theater of the past. Elegant patterns burn while exquisite wall lamps dim. Crimson flames fall into a pale blue sea, and Noraluia struggles to stabilize the theater, but it crumbles to pieces. Selena tries to steady herself as she moves to the edge of the space. Abstract lines of illusion twist behind her like patterns from the fantasies of a mad artist. She uses her connection to the Commandant to understand the scene, organizing it into a feasible path. Selena! A dull roar shakes the ruins, forming blades that thrust at Selena's face. Don't engage, run! This timeline is about to completely fail. Did you think this would be enough to... Noraluia's body suddenly slumps as trauma finally reaches her consciousness. She didn't know this many components were malfunctioning. But in the next moment, she destroys her burdens and staggers towards Selena. Stay where you are. Her outstretched hand hits the gradually closing barrier, only able to grasp a fading slither of light. Pale blue light courses through her entire body like electricity, leaving Noraluia stunned. She sees blurry figures high above in the heavens, and beneath the dome crowds of people in extreme detail. What is this? Noraluia enters a daze. Her intuition tells her that what she caught in her hand might not be Selena's remaining information, but... She sees the weapons of them descend, effortlessly crushing an entire planet into a thin slice. She sees planets shrouded by eerie red mist, devoid of even a whisper. She sees day and night reversed by the rules, the ground becoming beyond reach as life drowns in the deep sea. She sees a sun-like star expanding, its scorching energy engulfing an entire stellar region. with a lingering echo left by the interaction between the existence known as Usabeni and the background known as time. These scenes exist neither in the future nor in the present. And Noraluya feels a sudden terror and can't even think about the prison barrier closing in all around her. She activates a device closely linked to time and uses all her strength to extract information from this unexpected discovery. Then she sees a towering tree with lush foliage buckling under the weight of passing time. Its trunk is bent, wilting, and decaying. Wind blows, branches and leaves fall to the ground, turning into wet mud. After a while, the magnificent tree rises once more, verdant, without a single unwanted branch. She sees a vast river with surging waters that overflows into countless branches under the weight of passing time. The water spills onto the soil and gradually grows murky. It's triggering memories, yeah. Someone passes by. The tributaries dry up and flow back into the main stream. After a while, the river flows clear once more, surging with vigor, showing no sign of exhaustion. Under Noraluya's stunned gaze, the barriers of time slam shut with a thunderous crash, turning into an insurmountable chasm. Alright, last node. Prefacing. Overflowed by these memories. WGAA. Wow. And then, what happens next? What's the ending? Yeah, it's pretty short. I think altogether it's like about 5.5 hours. A little under 6 hours. Altogether, I'd say. Well, just this main story chapter. This, alongside the affection story, is like 7 hours, I'd say. About, or a little under 7. In the end, did the knight and the monarch defeat the warrior from the future? Considering Selena of all characters, yeah. In the end. Amid the clamor, a gentle female voice is controlling a mechanical puppet. He begins to narrate that fantastical tale once more. The knight erased the monarch's memories and pushed the monarch away from the castle so she could face the warrior from the future alone. But the monarch would never abandon the knight. Having endured countless hardships and trod through thorns to regain the lost memories, the monarch struggled relentlessly to return to the castle. Wow, that's the monarch for you. The monarch and the knight joined forces and defeated the warrior from the future. They imprisoned her in the castle where they overcame her. But without their castle, where are the monarch and the knight supposed to go? They did what the story said at the very beginning. The monarch and the knight returned to where their journey began and lived happily ever after with their friends. They have a long, long future ahead. Alright, the play is over. It's time for the assembly. Go to your teachers, quickly now. The children from the Center of Basic Public Education scurry off in excited chatter. Selena puts away the mechanical puppets used in her performance, stands up, and notices someone familiar standing nearby. Conductor? Selena. Since coming back from the time prison, this timeline has slowly recovered its memories of Selena. Stacks of reports and amendments revealed just how close Babylonia had come to disaster, shocking everyone. Vanished writing slowly reappears, erased memories slowly recover, and the girl exiled from time itself returns once more to the world that always belonged to her. The white noise was sealed away by the Science Council and classified as a high-level hazardous item, never to see the light again. Although some information was lost, the Clear to Best research group continues their Tenebrion energy research, still attempting to identify the singularity of that material. Everything returns to normal. It's time for a follow-up examination at the Science Council. After the time prison incident, Asimov is worried that the white noise might still be affecting your mind and mind beacon, so he arranged regular examinations for you and Selena. Oh, I almost forgot. Selena tilts her head in frustration, then quickly puts away the box. Let's go, conductor. She takes a few quick steps forward, pushes open the half-closed door, and turns around. She smiles at you in the bright sunlight. Let's go. The wayward whale has returned to her home. Countless stars shine brilliantly across the sky, yet none can match the sun's radiance. She dreams of becoming a white bird, soaring through the waves beneath the golden sunlight with her conductor. Endless Theater Time Prison. Enora Luya sits quietly in the audience, watching a stiff red mechanoid perform on stage. A pink-haired construct arrives silently and takes a seat beside her. You've come. Yes, I looked for the doorway that leads here. It's a shame you can't see the joke of this place. Breaking this crude prison will only be a matter of time. That's true. For you, it's merely a matter of time. You have no right to interfere with the play that must be premiered. The stern-faced, red-haired construct finally turns her head to stare at the woman beside her. Don't worry. Due to cause and effect, I won't interfere with the story between you and them on purpose. Then why did you come here? To tell me some riddles? Huh. I just want to ask you, when you touched that human, what did you see? What did she see? She saw a vast river flowing majestically. That's not a river. That was the river of time. Oh, never mind. There were no dense, dim branches, no muddy paths dried up on the way. There was only a vast, surging river, rushing toward a future she couldn't hear. It doesn't mean. Usubeni is the anchor point of everything. In the world you come from, does Usubeni exist? Usubeni. In her world, this name was only something fleeting that existed after the fall of Babylonia. In the branch where she exists, Babylonia was accidentally struck and largely destroyed, forcing survivors to evacuate back to the surface. But the surface wasn't safe either. The red tide surged violently while the punishing virus continued to evolve in its nest, shrinking humanity's living space further. The victors took all the resources, while the defeated were cast into the red tide. War, riots, and endless gunfire made up the colorless play constantly being performed across the land. People developed echo technology based on white noise, trying to return to the past to modify the future, but each attempt failed, until they heard echoes from within the Hetero Tower. The Hetero Tower had disappeared in the past. All of this must be caused by the Hetero Tower's disappearance. Angered by the imminent destruction of the world, the victors who had amassed vast resources frantically worked on construct tech, trying to use white noise to return to the past to bring back the Hetero Tower. That's why Luya was born into this world. You mean all of this is wrong? It's not wrong, it's just... you all deserve to be in a better world. The two people in the audience fall silent at the same time, quietly watching the mechanoid's performance on stage. Absurd yet real. Science Council, Babylonia. The review of the Mind Beacon is complete, and Rosa checks the results on the terminal. Everything is normal. The Mind Beacon is also functioning properly. We won't need another check, Commandant. Thank you so much. Are you sure you're fine? Of course. Our examination is very thorough. She quickly holds up the terminal to show you the data. Thank you, then. Just as you are about to leave after putting away the results, Asimov hurriedly appears from the lab on the other side. Usubeni, good timing. Is everything okay? Is there a problem with the Mind Beacon? It's about the Copperfield Aquarium. Oi! Is this about the incident that Hassan mentioned before? You vaguely recall that the last time your war trauma was triggered was when you went back to City 6 to deliver your combat report. Hassan once said that he might need Grey Raven to help him with operations at the Copperfield Aquarium. Oh. So that fully confirms that the current timeline right here is taking place before Cross the Ruined Sea. Yes. We received word yesterday that all 3 rescue teams sent to the Copperfield Aquarium have vanished without a trace. The mission order should be issued soon. They'll most likely deploy Grey Raven to the Copperfield Aquarium. Best to get ready. Okay, I understand. As you respond, something rises rapidly in your mind. Yeah, that explains the new Bianca frame too. But no, people want to be upset because it's just Dark Attacker. It feels like your memories are being slashed into shards and bizarre images are flashing across a mirror. Bianca and a stranger's frame. A surging crimson red tide. So this is the stuff that we've been through before. Right? That's the stuff we've been through before. What we are seeing just then. What are these? Are they memories from the past or from the past? Yes. Time flows ever forward, endless and swift. Blurred words mired in absurd colors. Past, present, and future will eventually reunite and find their way back together. That was surprisingly short. All right, that's chapter 34. That's it. And then with the affection story being done as well. That's it. That's it. There you go. All right. Yeah, there's a prize to it, yeah. All right, so overall thoughts here. So I'll just straight up get it out of the way. With the affection story and the main chapter together, out of 10, I give it a 6.5. Out of 10. I give it a 6.5. That's with the affection story and the main chapter together. It wasn't terrible as the few people I've seen make it out to be. It wasn't terrible, but people's criticisms about it are valid. They are valid. It did feel like it was just a complete romance story between Commandant and Selena. It really did feel like it. And I've said it multiple times before, it was kind of weird during those moments. It felt weird during those moments because, like, again, Lucia, right? What I did like about it was the whole time loop stuff. That stuff was cool. I like what they were doing with the whole echo, like, location stuff and whatnot. And they also helped explain how this whole timeline stuff is working, with Ishmael giving the example of, like, the tree and the branches and all that stuff. I did like that stuff. It's just this. It was like a lot of stuff with Commandant and Selena was like, it kind of muddled it. I don't know. I don't know. So from the different, like, criticisms and reviews I've seen about this chapter from people on Twitter, right? People have this. It looks like people have this general consensus that that the story that this chapter feels disconnected. That it doesn't feel like it's that people were understanding what they were going for, but it just didn't feel right. It felt like it was kind of just like rushed or something like that. Again, the parts that I did enjoy was the stuff with the time loops and whatnot. I did enjoy that, but it was like a lot of moments with Selena and Commandant. And it felt a little too, it felt too romantic to an extent for me. I feel like if they... It does feel like it was like... It does feel like it's incomplete. Love letter for Selena fans, it's nice, but in general it can be hurtful. Yeah. I've said it before, but this felt like more of a floating record chapter, not a main story one. Some of the other gripes I had was like, despite Selena coming back to Babylonia, we don't really, it's not like absolutely pivotal to the chapter or anything, but it still would have been nice to see Selena and Isla like interact a few times. It still would have been nice. Again, not too pivotal to the whole chapter. It wouldn't make a difference. It would just be nice and stuff. And then the complete absence of Grey Raven as a whole too was kind of like that also kind of is why it felt more like a floating record, if anything, right? If they give a new frame to Isla and this interaction still doesn't happen, I'm gonna riot. Yeah, I feel like the only thing they could do to try and help with this story involving Pianissimo would be like maybe an arcade anima, or that's probably the only thing I could think of, like an arcade anima. Right? It felt really rushed too. You know? Absence of GR and other characters is a con. Yeah. Especially considering this is a main story chapter. It isn't just the story of Commandant. It's Commandant and the Grey Ravens and, you know, the whole thing with humanity's survival and stuff. It was still enjoyable, but just not like, you know, it's not like on the levels of previous other chapters, you know? It definitely had a completely different vibe compared to previous chapters. And I'm not talking about like, you know, the stakes or anything like that. Like, it felt like it was another sort of like I don't know. Again, it just felt like a floating record, not a main story chapter. I don't entirely hate it, but it's definitely not the best thing I've read thus far. Again, I give it like a 6.5 out of 10, but that's including the affection story, right? Without affection story, that definitely would be like a 5. Or maybe even a 4.5. It really wasn't that great. Yeah. And I was trying to keep my expectations, and I was keeping my expectations low before going into it, but again, I'm not gonna say it was super terrible or anything, but it definitely is low. Yeah, 7 out of 5 or 7 out of 10. 0.5 for the mini games with music. Yeah. And the whole thing with Luya too, it's only until the very end that we get to learn where Luya came from. Luya came from one of the other timelines and stuff. The timeline where Babylonia got shot down from space, crashed into Earth and whatnot. But it was only until the very end, right there. There was another thing I saw on Twitter where someone was like saying they don't really explain how Selena got that power to time slice and stuff, but the chapter did kind of tell you that. It was when Ishmael had to pay that price with the back in like Wither to Shine, and a part of that power that she scattered from that price got absorbed by Selena somehow. I guess what that person was trying to say was like maybe they didn't explain how Selena absorbed it. She just did, but I do like what they were doing with the whole time loop stuff, but I feel like it got muddled. It felt like it got a bit brushed to the side, just a bit, you know? Aside from, but overall, it wasn't too terrible. And it is nice to see Selena back in Babylonia. I just hope in a future content patch, maybe an arcade anima for Pianissimo, or if Isla gets a new frame, we get to see them actually, Isla and Selena actually get to like reunite. Because the only bit of interaction we ever got between the two was literally Isla saying "welcome back" in a form of a letter. So that was disappointing. Once again, I'm not saying that their interactions or their reunion would have made a whole world of difference for the chapter. I'm not saying that it would have made the chapter like a 10 out of 10, but it still would have been nice, you know? Maybe Isla can be the new physical amplifier so they can be together in more than one way. That'd be cool, yeah. That'd be really, really cool. If Isla was physical amp, that'd be really cool. That'd be like absolutely perfect. They labeled it as a main story. Yeah, I think it could be a floating record because they're not releasing main story for 5 patches. Yeah. In its entirety, it could have just been a floating record. I would have been okay with that. But yeah. Overall, it wasn't that terrible, but it wasn't that good either. All right. Like, I'm not going to be that person who's going to be like, oh, this was absolute dog shit. I want to rip my hair out. I want to scream into the void. That's how bad it was. I'm not going to be like that. There were some moments I did enjoy. The moments that I really did enjoy was the stuff involving the time loops and all that stuff. It was really cool. But it felt like a majority of it was kind of just like Selena Commandant relationship. Renaissance du Fantastique. It was okay. It was just okay. Yeah. Whoops. But hey, at least we got Selena back, so that's something. At least we're just a step forward in being ready for when the actual hetero tower appearance happens. Yeah, the presentation wasn't bad. Music was really good and stuff. I enjoyed the music quite a bit. The stuff I didn't enjoy don't really bring the story to a bad status. Luia not having a background build-up and just showing up as instant threat, like of Isla Selena interactions. Yeah, OST is almost always like just going to be good. But yeah. I have heard that for the next stories here. So Genevieve's floating record. I heard it has really good. I'm not going to click on it to listen. I want to keep myself as blind as possible. The only thing I know of is just there's only two things I know of. One, it has good OST as per usual, as you'd expect. But two, it's also not that great. It's also not that good. So, but I'm not saying that this, but I'm not saying that's the majority of what people are saying. It's only literally one person I've seen say that this floating record wasn't good. It's that same person that said Selena's main chapter here was awful as well. So they probably just have really high expectations compared to me. It is experimental for sure. Yeah, because Genevieve isn't like Genevieve is completely derived from Matrix. So, but yeah. Yeah, she's just straight from the roguelike stuff. So, regardless though, I am looking forward to reading it. I'm not entirely sure when I'll read this, because there's like other things that I want to do on stream, not just PGR, because I like to do a variety of stuff just so people can understand. I'm not specifically just PGR, I'm not specifically just WUWA. I like to do a variety of games. Let's see what we got about Vera. What I heard from Vera Gerever is that her story is super good. I've heard that Vera's is really good. So, ooh, this illustration art slaps too. Her boss fight is freaking peak cinema. Unfortunately, when her chapter originally released in the CN server, unfortunately, I got fucking spoiled on the boss fight for that chapter. Someone decided to freaking upload the cutscene and reveal the name of the boss. Well, that pisses me off a lot. I hate it. So God bless for this sync patch. God freaking bless. I hate it when people spoil this shit. It's so goddamn annoying. So I know who the boss is going to be. I'm not going to say who the boss is, just in case people don't know themselves as well, that they only play in global. I haven't seen anything from the fight itself. I just know who the boss is. I've seen a little bit of the cutscene that plays. And that's all. Thought it was impossible. Nah, they just gotta speed it up. Kuro blessed us with this, yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm not entirely sure when I'll get to reading the Genevieve stuff, because I kind of have like next week somewhat planned out already. I don't know how many nodes Genevieve's story is. You know what? Fuck it. Let me see. 25 nodes. Oh, this music. Oh, why is it so sad? Reincarnation? Sorry, I just got reminded of Near Reincarnation. 25 nodes. This is going to be a long one. Yeah, I don't know when I'll do this one. Because Monday and Tuesday is when I'm going to be finishing Lost Judgment. Monday is when I'm finishing up Lost Judgment, and then Tuesday is the DLC for Lost Judgment. That's what I'm going to be doing. Wednesday... I'm not entirely sure with Wednesday, but it's definitely not enough. But one stream is not enough to get through Genevieve's story here. Definitely not enough. And then next week and then on Friday and Saturday, I want to play WUWA because of its second half of the patch. You're a godsender for me. As I'm supposed to read Selena's chapter today. I'm a bit in a moody state because 6 a.m. for me. VA is all right. I'm happy to know that that me reading these stories have been helpful. You know, as far as I know, there's not a whole lot of people on YouTube. I don't know about Twitch, but on YouTube, there's not a lot of people who are willing to read through these chapters, whether on stream or in a video form. So I'm happy to know that there are people that I'm helping out people with this stuff. If they don't want to sit through the reading themselves and would rather hear someone else read it. I'm happy to know. And that's why I started doing the whole PGR story reading stuff. But yeah. Chances are I'm going to be reading this Genevieve story maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think of it. Recommended you to 5 people, including songs, so win-win. I mean, you don't have to recommend my music, but thank you anyway. Thank you for that. But yeah. Different time zones, so I really don't know. Then I can catch up with you again. That's completely fine. If you're not able, if anyone watching this, whether it's live right now or as a VOD, if you're not able to tune in when it's live at all, completely A-okay. If you're busy with stuff, if you're asleep or whatever, completely A-okay. You're not obligated to join in and for the viewing. It's completely A-okay. After all, we all live in different parts of the world, different time zones, different obligations. Completely A-okay. So if you're not able to catch up with me and with anything, whether it's PGR stuff, WooWa stuff, or any other game that I stream, A-okay. These VODs, the archives will be here no matter what. Could only catch with Cap once a week. Yep. Hello, Tin Can. Tin Can being one of my longest longest staying viewers, can only tune in for like once a week. So, and that's completely okay. Yep. So, let me just say this again for the affection story of Selena Pianissimo, as well as chapter 34, Dream Till the Timeless End. Overall, out of 10, 6.5. It had a few highs, which were the whole time loop stuff, but when it hit the lows, it was low. It had more lows than it did highs. It wouldn't have made a difference, but it would have been nice to see Isla, Selena interaction. It would have been nice to see Grey Raven. It is what it is. It is what it is. More stuff with Luya would have been nicer too. If the chapter was longer as well, with more information with stuff, that would make this chapter a lot more enjoyable. A lot more better. But overall, 6.5 out of 10, with both affection story and main chapter story. And so, with that out of the way, for next week, what I have planned, because I don't stream on Sundays. Today is Saturday for me, tomorrow is Sunday, so I'm not going to stream tomorrow. So, Monday is going to be Lost Judgment. I'm going to finish the main story for that. Tuesday is going to be Lost Judgment DLC, which I can easily finish within the one stream, because it's only 4 chapters. Wednesday, I'm not entirely sure. Wednesday, it might not be WooWa. It might be like Final Fantasy 14, just another chill stream for that. Thursday, I don't stream. Friday and Saturday is most likely going to be Wuthering Waves, WooWa, for the second half of 2.4. Which means the Genevieve stuff is going to have to wait for the next... It's going to happen in like 2 more weeks. So you're going to have a bit of a long wait. Sorry to say. if you're someone who's only here for the PGR stuff, I apologize. But I am someone who likes to do a variety of games on stream. So, but if you do want more PGR content, I mean, I'm doing the story readings for videos, and there are VODs of me playing through the story and whatnot for PGR. So if you want to watch those, you can, I guess. But yeah, speaking of the PGR story readings, the next upload is going to be Watanabe's arcade anima, but it's gonna take a while because I did the first recording for the first node here. It took 20 minutes. It was a 20-minute read. So getting arcade anima done with the recording, and then recording the gameplay and the dialogue, and then recording my voice and then editing it's going to take a while. It might not get uploaded tomorrow, but I'll try and get as much of it done as I can tomorrow and stuff. I'll do my best. And then after arcade anima, the next upload will be Bianca Zero interlude. So yeah. Alright. With that being said though, that's going to be it for me for tonight because my voice is nearly going to die. So thank you for watching. Thank you for chilling with me. Thank you for chatting with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care, stay safe, drink plenty of water, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll see you next time then. Have a great rest of your weekend. Again, thank you for watching, and again, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Bye, 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 bye!